All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of my lovely show. The title is You Ain't Shit for Watching. Thank you for tuning in. Today's episode, we're going to talk about a couple of things. We're going to talk about Cynthia G and the major L that she took. We're going to talk about Terry Crews and how he constantly produces L's as if it was a mixtape. And I'm not saying it didn't happen, brother. I'm not saying it didn't happen. What I'm saying is we got some questions to Jussie Smollett. That's even how you pronounce his name. Now, typically, how we run the show is basically through Google Hangouts, and we do just that. We hang out. The purpose of the show is to have conversations within our Black community. So, if you're a drinker, I know it's early in the day. Go ahead, and drink. If you smoke, smoke. But all in all, it's another episode. We're gonna have some fuckery and some foolishness. I've got two other people on the show with me. Again, my name is Donnie Casanova. I'm 1/3 of the habitual line steppers. So I've got 2/3 of the habitual line steppers ready to talk to you today. Anybody want to go up first and introduce their show, their channel?
Well, this is Roger Stevens. I'm also 1/3 of the habitual line steppers. I run the show, The Roger Report. Definitely tune in, subscribe. We definitely keep it real on that show, and we hit what needs to be hit on my show. So definitely tune in. Love to see you there.
Mr. Kev.
Yeah. Yeah, my name is Kev, and I run the YouTube channel Black Men Being Brutally Honest. Really, all of this started from the Facebook group that I made almost 2 years ago, Black Men Being Brutally Honest with Everyone. And this is probably going to be one of those brutally honest moments. So I'm here for it. Habitual line steppers.
Oh, yeah, we doing the damn thing. The thing. All right, so I got some conversation because there's some fuckery and some foolishness that we can talk about. So let's get this off the table right now. Cynthia G. Cynthia G is taking a major L in a major way, and we need to discuss why the fuck she's taking the L. Because so people who aren't familiar, Cynthia G is one of those shea butter Black feminists who feel that every Black man is defeated. She's put out shows with the title similar to the effect of The American Black Man. Are they worth it? Are they worth anything? Do they have any value? Black men are defeated. Things like that is constant rhetoric Cynthia G puts out. Cynthia G then goes and gets pregnant by what can only be considered the common lowest denominator of the Black male species. Robert Perkins is a dude with, I guess we're up to 5 baby mamas at this point. 5 baby mamas at this point.
Well, there's only 4 baby moms, but it's 5 kids already, and Cynthia G is gonna be
Baby mama 5.
the 6th child, and she'll be the 5th baby mama.
Right. So he's up to 5 baby mamas at this point. So,
Yeah.
not to mention that it would be one thing if this dude was in a long-term relationship with her. It would be one thing if this dude was planning to be with her. In this particular scenario, she's the side chick. She's the sidekick.
Side chick to the side
to a
chick.
pookie.
To the
Right.
side chick. To the side chick. Yeah.
So you went out of your way to shit on Black men and talk about how we ain't shit, but you willing to be the side chick. You willing to risk it all for some dick. I just who want to I'm stepping back. I'm gonna let y'all talk. Go ahead.
I mean, it's like here's what I say: when you're constantly a rude person and you're on it, a decision like that is going to make news. And she's been at this for years. This is not one video. This is not 2 videos. This is the theme of her rhetoric that Black men are defeated, dusty, beta male, gay booty, whipped, white man got the foot on the neck, that kind of thing. And then to go get pregnant by a person who personifies that or seemingly personifies that. Granted, I don't know Mr. Perkins personal, but I mean, based on what he's done, it speaks for itself. Why would you do that? If you were free and clear, why would you do that to yourself? I mean, and I feel like that we're kind of here to answer that question as this discussion progresses. It's just for someone with that rhetoric, I don't understand why that move was made, but I do know the answer.
So, Raj, how you feeling about it?
Well, I'm just gonna keep it the way it is. For a woman who's constantly on YouTube talking about black men are defeated, and she has an issue with black men dating white women, and she has an issue with I'm saying these are the issues she claims she has, because I can't say she actually has an issue with any of them based on behavior. She says she has an issue with the fact that black men aren't raising their families; they just getting women pregnant and just leaving them and things like that. Now, Robert Perkins is another YouTuber. I don't know Robert Perkins personally either. My thing is, I'm not going to even personally get into what I don't know about Robert Perkins. But what we're hearing about Robert Perkins, and what I even heard a small clip of Cynthia G speaking on the situation. Now, from what we're hearing, the man already has 5 kids. Now Cynthia G is pregnant with kid number 6. She's going to be the 5th baby mom. And I've heard a clip of her now trying to defend Robert Perkins and say he's such a great dad and things like that. My thing is, on one hand, you're making a strong case against these men that have babies and disappear. She presents it as if it's most of Black America, even though it's not. It's not most black men in America. And if you're so passionate about men being involved with their families, because her claim is, she says she talks about black men to inspire them to be better, even though if you listen to her, she just simply glorifies white men and she talks down on black men. So I know what she really likes because I'm not stupid. But how can you make the claim that she makes and then you end up having a baby by a man who already has 5 kids? And my thing is, regardless of that man's character, because I'm not going to get on him because he's already established what he is. He's a man with kids by other women already. So he's already established in the fact that he'll have a baby with you, especially if you're not worthy of being a wife. He's cool with that. You know what I'm saying? So he's just being who he is. But for Cynthia to take the position that she takes, and then for her to have a child with a woman, for her to have a child with a man that doesn't see her as good enough to be a wife, after all the stuff she talks about, black men need to be part of a black family. Now you gonna go out your way to become the woman that you say black men are hurting? Why would you go get pregnant by a man who already got these 5 other kids? I'm not saying the man ain't got good character. I don't really know his character as a person, but at the end of the day, he already stretched between dealing with 5 kids. You see what I'm saying? My dad had 5 kids, and he lived with us. That was enough in itself. You know what I'm saying? I got other uncles that have good sized families. Like I literally have about 100 first cousins. I know what it's like for men to deal with a bunch of kids living under the same roof. So the man got these kids in other places. Yeah, you talk all this stuff about black men and not being there for the family. But now don't get me wrong, she's anti-patriarchal. She's made that clear. So I guess because she's anti-patriarchal in her world, you know what I'm saying, she really don't want to be part of, she really doesn't want a black family anyway. She complains about her own father who supposedly wasn't in her life the correct way. And I think she was saying he had some type of drug problem and all that. And then her friends, they didn't have dads around. And I'm trying to sit here like, man, if you and all your friends didn't have dads around and you understand the value of a dad being around, if you're really hurt by what it cost you as a child yourself, why would you put your child in that position by messing with a dude that, to my understanding, lives in a different state. I'm trying to figure out exactly which state he lives in, but the way I'm hearing it, they do not live in the same state. So why would you go out your way? Because you literally went out your way if he's in a different state to get pregnant by a man, regardless of his character. They got 5 kids already to tend to. How he gonna tend to your kid when he got 5 kids already in a different state? Every time he goes to your kid thing, he's gonna temporarily have to neglect the 5 other children, and vice versa. And what are you going? Are you going to hit him for child support? You know what I'm saying? So now you go, if he's not paying child support in the system already, which I heard a clip of him speaking, and based on that small clip I heard of him, it came across like he wasn't already paying child support.
Roger.
And if that, oh yeah, go ahead, Kev.
Hey, is there a possibility that there may be like an agreement made instead of going into the whole child support debacle? You know, just to avoid certain stereotypes that we have in our society, or to prove a point. You know,
well, I mean, child support isn't necessary. It's definitely that can be done between the parents.
I mean, you know, the craziness is already in jumping a state to get pregnant.
Here's the deal with that. Right now, it's first come, first serve. So you already got to understand that if any of these chicks want child support, they got to be running to the courtroom to file to file on this, because as somebody gonna get some pennies. It just is what it is. Somebody gonna get some pennies out the situation. Not everybody can come out with a couple hundred a month. Somebody getting pennies. Period. Point blank. I don't care what the agreement is. He got to say, "Hey, listen, I know I told you I was going to do $300 a month, but I got a 5th baby mama coming. Yeah. So we have to drop that down to 130. You know, can we do 130? Because at this point, ain't no way in hell Cynthia G can get any money from this man whatsoever. He got 4 other baby mamas.
Yeah, that shit is distributed with income. It can't be that much at all.
And she done did all this trash talk about black men ain't shit. And you just the nigga you picked. Boy, I tell you. It's wig desperation. You gotta understand that synthetic wig, G. That wig ain't allowing for quality niggas. So she just fucking whatever she can get.
It definitely presents a mentality. It's I don't know. Just with me, I want it to be in a family situation. I'll tell you my experience with her. I was on another YouTuber's channel on a panel, and the theme was Black Dads Are Active. And you know, it was a positive broadcast. You know, I was trying to keep it positive. You know, trying to deliver the message the best way I could, even though I knew the crowd I was dealing with. And she came on the broadcast during like kind of the open discussion time, and immediately start to blast Black fatherhood. And you know, as Roger stated, she started going off about how her friends didn't have dads, and where's all these Black fathers coming from if she went through that situation and it was reality. And I was like, and I said, your reality. She said, how come you're on this panel if you're not based in reality?
What?
Yeah.
So your reality is everybody's reality.
My reality has, you know, my reality, as I've been explaining through that entire show, is that my dad was there. All my friends' dads were there. I was in a loving environment where my parents were there. I mean, I'm not saying it doesn't happen, but all we're saying over here is when it happens for a fucked up reason. And what she was representing was like she was oh so perfect. Where are these black men at? Asking me a question. Why didn't black men get together and sue the federal government for planting drugs in our community? White people are suing the federal government for opioids. I'm like, you know, well, oh, y'all can't answer that question. It's a stupid question to answer. Plus, I'm not making any excuses, but I had to go pick up the kid from, that kind of thing. Being a father, I had to go be a father for a second. So I don't know what the fuck she was talking about. And then she pulls this move right here. Okay. Why? Okay, now your kid is going to be one of those kids that's saying, my mother. I don't know where my dad is.
For no reason, too.
For no reason.
And
you criticize any other black man that has done the one thing that you complain about them not doing. So there. And she's all over YouTube, This is all over YouTube. This ain't just us saying this shit. It's everybody. Why do certain people think that this is not embarrassing?
The sad part is I don't think she's embarrassed. I think women like her are so far gone. They don't get embarrassed by stuff like this. They continually bash men for the same behavior they participate in.
We're coons.
That's the problem.
We're coons. We're coons for discussing it like it's fucked up. Like we're supposed to accept bad behavior. Think about this. I'm a married man, and we got two men on the panel that has not created a single mother. Let's just put it like that. So it's nothing wrong with standards. It's nothing wrong with talking about this shit. Like I have
especially if you want your community to be better.
I have a little girl. Okay. Say this woman is saying black men are weak and defeated. I look at my little girl and then I ask myself, do I want my little girl looking up to Cynthia G as the model of how to be in your life? Fuck no. Fuck no. No, not her.
Not that one. Not that one at all.
Not that. So
absolutely not.
Before you demonize fatherhood, think about this. Do you want little girls growing up to be like you? Look in the mirror.
She don't see nothing wrong with it, and that's part of the problem.
None of them bitches see anything wrong with it, but it's so stupid.
She don't see nothing fucking wrong.
We get railed. We get railed on platforms like this because we say words. Fucking words. We're not up here shooting up clubs. And I'm talking about more ways than one. We're not putting people in the community. We're not doing none of that shit.
But this is all part of the problem.
It's a complete shame that a woman is attempting to be in a leadership role because at the end of the day, if you're one of the people on YouTube trying to tell people certain stuff, technically we're all assuming some type of leadership position. You may not come out and say you're the black leader, but technically we're all assuming some type of leadership position. And for you to be a woman to say what she said and literally go out your way to have a baby by a man who already has 5 other children to tend to.
Have a baby by me, baby. Be a dollionaire.
And my thing is, I don't even want it to come off like I'm trying to dig on Mr. Perkins because I don't know nothing about Mr. Perkins like that to dig on him. I'm just looking at a reality of a situation. Listen, if the man ain't a multi-millionaire already, where he can jet set from state to state and do what he got to do.
We know what you're saying. She knew what she was doing. Period. Listen, at the end of the day,
I don't even know this nigga. I don't know this nigga not one drop. Let me say this. I don't respect any man that goes out here and have this many children out of wedlock. You way past out of fucking pocket. But she slept with a regular nigga. A regular nigga and got this many kids. Now, if she went out and got pregnant by a future, I've been like, that's fucked up. You chose a Pookie, but at least he a rich Pookie. You chose a nigga that can only give you $25 a month in child support.
Well, see, that's my whole issue. Like, if the daddy was Puff, Sean Combs got money to move around, do what he got to do. He can take care of kids in another country if he wanted to. I get that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying it's good, but I at least get it that he's in that position where he can actually take care of stuff. He's well established. He's not even like a Future guy because a Future is a hot right now person. If Future don't stay hot, he got a lot of problems on his hands, and his kids gonna have a lot of problems. See, Sean Combs is well established. You see what I'm saying? So for him to not be a rich and famous guy, well, I mean, you could take the fame off of for him not to be a rich guy, because I never heard anything about the guy being a multi-millionaire. There's nothing from what I know of him to lead me to believe that he's a multi-millionaire. So why do that with a guy who's not a multi-millionaire that can't do certain things that his children are going to need to be tended to. He's definitely gonna have to spend some money on the child. You know what I'm saying? I'm not even saying the man won't do that. Based on what I heard him say, he does. He does take care of his children and things like that. And my thing is, I'm not gonna say that man doesn't. I'm not discrediting nothing I heard him say. But I'm saying in her position, when you know his position already, why would you go out your way to have a baby with him instead of somebody else that's in a much better position to have a child with? Like, why wouldn't you just have a child by a man with no children? You know, or a man with maybe 1 or 2 kids, or you know what I'm saying, just a guy that's in a better position. It don't make sense. If you care so much about the family, why didn't you get married to the guy and then have a baby? You know, it's like you're saying one thing and doing a complete opposite thing. That's what makes no sense to me.
Now let's dispel some myth. Do you think that she possibly had this baby on purpose?
I mean, she absolutely had it on purpose. Who gets pregnant by accident?
I mean, that will cross into psychological and mental issues then. That discussion right there, because that wasn't a well thought out decision. Go ahead and say it doesn't even look like it's a well thought out decision all the way around already to have that element added to it. Like shit, it's shit you can put in a book almost.
I mean, my thing is, realistically speaking, what baby is an accidental baby? You know what I'm saying? If you're an adult, especially if you've been an adult for a few years,
but wasn't it debunked?
How pregnancy works?
Wasn't it debunked that it was accidental? Wasn't it debunked?
I don't really know about somebody debunking about an accidental pregnancy. What I'm saying is any normal adult with who can actually think for themselves, not people with a mental issue. I'm just talking about regular normal adults. We all know where babies come from. So since we know where babies come from, there's no such thing as an accidental baby.
Oh,
there's a baby that you can say was unplanned, but he's not an accident.
I just want to ask.
Well, I didn't plan to get pregnant today, even though I did everything.
Does anybody ever say that I want to have a baby in April of 2020? Like it's nothing like that is ever planned.
This is why. And
it might happen like that. You never know.
I just want to ask Cynthia personally.
My point is,
was defeated dick what you wanted in life? Was defeated dick great? What were you willing to risk it all for defeated dick?
But this is my point. I want to make this clear to the audience. At the end of the day, if you're a normal adult, you don't have any type of real mental issues.
Man,
we know where babies come from. So you can say, I didn't plan on having a baby, but we all know what it takes to make a baby. So when you go through the trouble of making the baby, you can't say the baby's an accident. That's an outright lie. You know what I'm saying? The baby is an accident if I were to fall asleep and then I wake up and I got somebody pregnant. That's an accidental baby. If somehow she got me to give her some sperm and I'm asleep, yeah, that's an accidental baby. But I can't go have sex with the woman and then say the baby's an accident. That don't work.
How dare you? Cynthia G tried her hardest not to get pregnant by that didn't do.
No, she didn't try her hardest because she had sex with him. So she definitely didn't try her hardest.
Her weave was the only form of birth control that she needed.
Motherfucker got a white belt in pull-out game.
He said a white belt. He said a white belt.
How did you figure this was a good idea?
Oh man, the world's coming to an end.
I'm just saying, we got to look at stuff in realistic terms. She had a baby because she wanted the baby. Obviously, since Cynthia G ain't 19. I don't know how old she is, but she ain't 19.
She about 45 in the face.
Well, my thing is, I'm not gonna even disparage her on even what she looks like. My whole point is, you're a black woman in a community of a bunch of women that already got kids. Therefore, you should be in a better position to attract a better man. My thing is,
I'm getting messages right now. I have somebody who did a hair weave analysis. They're saying via hair weave analysis, her hair is about 75. That weave about 75.
Dude.
That's hilarious.
I'm just coming with the news as we get.
No, what you know? What my thing is, women need to know. To me, what Cynthia G has done is just an expected outcome. I couldn't see nothing else happening. The way she talks about black men in such a negative light, and the way she compares them to white men and praises white men so much. My thing is, what man who has a good situation going on, or I'll say a better situation going on, because I don't know Robert Perkins' exact situation, but a man with a better situation going on, who's going to get her pregnant? You see what I'm saying? When you talk as crazy as she does, and she says she's not patriarchal, she's not into black male leadership. What man who's working hard in life to get himself together is going to want to have a kid by a woman like that? She kind of boxed herself in. So in my perspective, it's an expected outcome. You know what I'm saying? Who would I expect her to get to? A white man don't want her for sure. You know what I'm saying? What black man's gonna want her? A man that's in a more compromised position, like Mr. Perkins is, because he is in a compromised position because he already got so many kids by so many other women. So at the end of the day, he's compromised to a certain degree. Yeah, because I wouldn't give Cynthia G a baby at all. I wouldn't even dream about it.
How dare you, sir? How dare you?
No. My thing is, I'm gonna keep it real. You know what I'm saying? And I get, and I'm not even trying to say, men won't have sex with her. I'm not even saying like that because we know there's men that hit a lot of stuff. She's still a woman.
It's terrible.
I mean, she's still a woman. She's not, in my opinion, she's not a terribly unattractive woman physically.
Listen, sir.
She's just terribly unattractive by what comes out of her mouth.
Sir, have you not seen that hairline and that weave?
I honestly, I think she's bald. That's just my personal belief.
So
she's bald or close to it.
I have a close personal friend that was with her when she went to Jurassic Park and went to the gift shop and bought that weave from. She bought the Cheddar Man weave set. She bought the Cheddar Man weave set. I can't go sign none of this. I can't.
No, I'm not either. But I'm saying I just assumed she was bald, honestly. And I'm just every time I've seen her, the way her hair looked and the little cap she has on, I do know women with hair problems do certain stuff. And now that I've been involved with stuff on the internet, I've learned a little bit more about black women and their hair. And I do know a lot of stuff they do to their hair messes their hair up. So I just assume she's like bald. You know what I'm saying? She probably don't have no hair, but because she doesn't want to look like a natural black woman, you know what I'm saying? Maybe she done put her head in a position where she can't really grow hair no more. That's what I'm thinking. You know what I'm saying?
What did she put them eyebrows in position to do? Because I just... man, listen.
All I'm saying is that
I got a question for Robert. Robert Perkins, sir, what was you thinking? Was this alcohol induced? How many times did you hit when you went raw? Did you regret it instantly? Like I got questions.
Here's what I would say. When you denigrate a group of people, you set yourself up to fail. Period. Like you make that your platform. What positive did you get out of her platform? I mean, you couldn't have as a black man. I mean, nobody's gonna say after that kind of rhetoric, "Oh, I need to straighten up." I need to do better. I don't know, except for the man that she's surrounded with on YouTube. I mean, not saying any names there, but come on, guys. Seriously. It's like the logical thing is when she says the two words black men, you think that you're not black men.
Right.
You know, these men pull this alpha complex. Like she's not talking about me. I'm unbothered. I'm not
fake alpha complex.
Yeah, fake alpha complex. Fake alpha. Like, for real. I look at, they blame guys like me and you for taking exception to that bullshit. They're women. Let it go. Now, she was the one that did it and then turned around and made fucked up decisions. The very decisions that we say that's hurting a community. Yeah. I mean, what are we talking about? We talk about what anti-black family shit. That's anti-black family.
I mean, Cynthia is clearly an anti-black family a woman. I figured that out a long time ago. You know what I'm saying?
Seriously. You're complaining about black men not being there for their kids, but you're anti-black family. You're anti-black man. Black men ain't shit. Defeated.
Well, you know what? My thing is, her rhetoric is one thing, but my thing is people need to start not just paying attention to presentation. They also need to pay attention to information. Yes, her rhetoric is one thing, but she's anti-black family, which I've said a long time ago. But my thing is she's proving she's anti-black family based on her behavior. Because when you go out your way to have a baby by a man, and I'm not even trying to put Robert Perkins down. You see what I'm saying? Understand, I'm not putting him down. He is what he is. He's a man that has already established himself that he's willing to have babies by random women. He's established himself as
Hold on. Let me clarify that for the slow ones. He's a rattlesnake whose snake is rattling. Don't fuck with that nigga. Proceed.
Okay. well, my thing is, I can't blame him for being him. He's clearly establishing what type of man he is. He's a man that will have a baby by a random woman. So the fact that she preaches the family thing so tough, and she says she has a problem with black men not being family oriented, yet she goes out her way to go have a baby by a man that's not family oriented. You see what I'm saying? Because to my understanding, they're not neighbors. They live in different states. So, she went out of her way to have sex with this man and get pregnant by him. So her action shows she is anti-family, which I've been saying for a long time, ever since I heard of her and people kind of introduced me to her and to see what she was talking about. And I was like, well, she's an anti-black family. She's, she's really into white men, and she has an issue because she obviously can't attract the type of white man she wants to have.
And she might be in a white man, but she in a black dick. But go ahead.
Well, no. I mean, there's a lot of women like that they want white men, and they understand after a certain amount of time of trying that they can't pull a white man that they want. So therefore, they'll try to go back toward, but they'll try to put their allegiance back to black men because they cannot pull the white man they want. So she's obviously one of those people, and they say she lives in like San Francisco, which does not have a high black person population. So you really got to compete if you're a black woman, if you really want a black man in that area, because it just ain't that many to go around. So at the end of the day, she just can't get the man she wants. That's white. So now she wants to, deal with black men, but she talks as if she's above every other black man. But then, so what are you gonna end up with? You got to end up with a guy like Robert Perkins. And I'm not even saying he's a bad guy, because like I said, I don't even know his personal situation like that. But when you have that many kids, and if you have a child by this man that lives in a different state, how is this man gonna be a father to that child that lives out of state? Yes, there's only so much he can do automatically just off geography. You see what I'm saying? And you can't expect him to put his whole life up and move to another state because he got 5 other kids to look after. If somebody got to come up short, it should be the 6th child that's out of state. Well, I'm saying that if you're in a position as a man to raise 5 kids well and have one go off the rails, you're supposed to let the one go off the rails and take care of 5.
Question: Do you think that her baby daddy qualifies? Well, if you could look on your screen right now, I put something up. Do you think that her baby daddy would sacrifice for a black woman the way he would for a white woman?
I mean, I don't know what he would or won't do. The only thing I know as far as that goes is he'll pop a baby in a black woman, and he ain't concerned with it.
I mean, obviously. If he didn't, that's the only thing I can connect that with. If he didn't get a white woman pregnant, then then that pretty much answers that question.
I mean, the way I look at it, he treated Cynthia the way she is. You know what I'm saying? There's a certain type of woman, because she's not like a young woman that could say she didn't understand life or didn't know better. Cynthia's got to be in at least her 30s. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna put her age out there. I don't know her age person, but she got to be at least in her 30s.
I
you know
told
what I'm saying?
you.
And I'm being generous to give her 30s.
Weave analysis. We got 75.
Okay. What I'm saying, I'm being generous. I'm gonna just give her 30, just for argument's sake. When you're 30 years old, you already know enough about life. You should know what type of man you want to have your baby at that
Now,
point.
hold on. Now, look at my screen. You see where my arrow is? Can black men with shaved heads be pro-black? Your baby daddy's got a shaved head.
She doesn't even try to live by her own words, huh? She didn't even make no attempt, huh?
I mean, she just said stuff, man. Like this stuff, just whatever's cool at the time.
Oh
no, I don't even think it's that. Honestly, I think if anybody just looks at her and see how she talks, she's a very hurt woman. Real talk. She, like when black women always saying stuff about who hurt you and all that. No, she's literally a very hurt individual.
So you feel like she doesn't set up hurt?
Bro, I'm serious. I would be willing to bet. I'd be willing to bet a paycheck on the fact that she has an issue with the fact that she could not pull the kind of white man she wants, and because she's afraid, like most black women are, to really say anything out of pocket to a white man, she attacks black men to get her anger out. I believe she's angry because she can't have the type of white man she wants. And she just directs her anger toward black men.
One thing that I will say, that women are huge projectionists. So for women like that, for her to say what she says about people, that's sort of how she feels about herself. I mean, you feel like a defeated person. You feel dusty. You feel ashy. You felt like you weren't good enough. You were projecting that shame onto the black man. Unfortunately for her, there's a lot of black men that don't feel that way.
I have a question, fellas. Can you answer this for me?
Real quick, before you change your question. Before you go into your question, let me say this. Kev, if she was projecting onto others how she feels about how she feels about herself, wouldn't she do something in her life where you could see that's how she really feels when her lifestyle?
She lives in a community that enables her. Therefore, she can deflect blame to anything she wants just because she's female. And especially in our community, apparently, through all the apologist bullshit that I've been seeing, we are a bunch of enablers. We live in a time that enables people to be like this. Okay.
Well, I'm just thinking, this is what my mind is going to. If she really feels that way, her life is going to prove it. Now, my question is, does having a baby by the man she had one, is that proof of her feelings or not? Because we're talking about a woman that's 30 or above. This ain't her first rodeo.
I'm gonna need you to jump 2 decades up for me, bro. Just 2 decades one time. Just 2 decades.
2 decades.
I'm trying to be nice. I'm trying to be nice so people can't be like, well, we just attacking her. I'm trying to be nice.
She's having a miracle baby, sir. I need you to recognize. Listen, I have a whole different perspective. I feel like she's put herself in the struggle on purpose. just to know what single mothers are going through. Because remember,
that's not far-fetched though.
She's a ride or die. She's the Rosa Parks of baby mamas.
My thing is, seriously, what was she gonna become other than a single mother? Who was gonna marry her? Realistically, this should be a warning to other black women. When you take on such a dumb way of thinking, and you're so anti your men, and I'm saying, if nobody else gonna say it, I believe Cynthia G is anti-black men due to the fact that she couldn't get the type of white man she wanted. So she's very anti-black man. She's already stated she's anti-patriarchal. She's anti-family. She just proved that beyond shadow of a doubt by who she chose to get pregnant by. You know what I'm saying? She's so anti-black men because she's not going to take her anger out on white men. She's going to project it at us instead of them because that's who she really has a problem with. So her being a single mother was going to happen. It was either single mother or no kids at all.
Are you saying it was going to be kismet? It was fate. It was nothing you could do about it.
No dude trying to protect his assets in this type of climate was going to marry her. No black guy with any kind of sense. What black man is going to marry her? That's what I'm saying. There should be a warning to other young ladies.
Dominant alpha. No, not a true dominant alpha type that take care of his.
Yeah. So if you look on your screen, this is just one of the videos. Since if y'all not familiar with Cynthia G, this is one of the videos Cynthia G has put out. It reads, and I quote, "If black men are not dominated, explain this." And then she goes into about a 13-minute rant talking about how black men are dominated. Again, you having a baby with a super dominated nigga. But hey, I could be wrong.
Well, just like other black feminists, you know what I'm saying? As we talked about on my show just the other day, they like compromised black men. Those are the type of men that they like, because those are the only type of men that's gonna really do something for them. Because think about it, me myself personally, as much as I work and the money I make, I'm not gonna spend my money on a woman like her. She know that. You know what I'm saying? The positions y'all are in, me and in y'all position ain't gonna spend no money on her. That's just reality. You know what I'm saying? We got common sense, and we definitely ain't finna take a chance on having no baby with her. Okay. So getting a decent brother is beyond her limitations.
So here's the next step, because this is my question. Now, we've all seen her do the interview and she's defending the dude she having a baby with. He take care of his kids. I'm gonna let y'all.
She gotta defend him now.
I want you to read what's on your screen, and then get back to me with your thoughts on how she's moving currently after she done spoke on this and trashed the women who defend and make excuses for it's black women who make excuses for and coddle dusty beta males.
Well, we want to hear that. I mean, there's already been excuses made. So, I mean, anything that she said negative is a reflection of her. Like I said, projectionism. So she's obviously at this point talking about herself.
So do you think she knew she was headed down this road?
Of course she knew she was headed down this road. She's not a child. Remember, I'm being nice just to say she's a woman over 30.
She's not. She's not unconsciously unaware. She's not even unconsciously aware. She
has a platform that deals with the very thing she did.
Yeah,
you know,
if she's a person that truly wanted to make things better, and like they always sell this bullshit as tough love. They always do. It's tough love. She needed to be the example, and she's not. All right. She's done. Anything she says doesn't have any credibility. I mean, she's free to talk. Everybody on YouTube is free to talk, but like who's gonna listen besides apologists, friends, or you know, if you're not really a true friend, if you're not really saying, "Hey, what the fuck." Like I wouldn't. If as a black man, I wouldn't defend her. I'll just put it like that. I would not defend.
There's no reason to defend the behavior she did. She's not a child.
Words. It's just words, fellas. It's just words.
You're a typical black man not defending a black woman.
Yeah. Hey, and like I'll go ahead and say this. She timed out a guy on a stream the other day because he said that the black woman wasn't God.
Oh wow.
That's a correct statement.
Okay, God, stop. Don't time me out again.
So he can't even make a true statement, huh?
You can't even make a true statement. You're not God. If the black black woman was God, why hasn't God presented?
Man, my thing is, I'm not going to even get into no religious thing. When it comes down to it, there is no definition of God that will include the black woman. Period. She's not God in the story. You know what I'm saying? Because people believe in different stuff, and some people believe in no God. Whatever it is that you believe, she ain't it. You know what I'm saying? None of us are gods. You know what I'm saying? Then some of us believe we're God's children, or whatever the case is. However you get into it. But at the end of the day, saying black women aren't gods is not a bad statement to make. It's not an incorrect statement to make. So the time somebody else simply for saying that is just ridiculous in itself. Now, my thing is, if you believe that you are, if her to have the talking point she has, as you said, Kev, she should be an example of the talking point she has. And my thing is, even if you fail to do your own talking points, you supposed to at least be like, you know what, y'all, I messed up and I made a mistake. I did something I shouldn't have did. You know what I'm saying? I apologize or whatever the case is. That would have been a way to handle that. But no, she's doubling down on her stupidity. And it's ridiculous. That's absolutely ridiculous. Yeah, I get everybody can make a mistake. I get ain't none of us perfect. But when you gonna start defending the stupidity that you've done, man, you way off the deep end. You know, and I'm saying she's stupid because she having a baby by a dude who don't even live in the same state, and he got 5 other kids already. And based on my opinion, that's stupidity. I'm not trying to put him down. There's an exception to every rule. Like I said, if it was Sean Combs, multi-millionaire, well established, he probably not finna go bankrupt. I get it.
Listen, that nigga is a Pookie Highlander. There can only be one. That nigga is going for the title of greatest Pookie ever. Fuck that. No, we calling all the bullshit. We calling all the bullshit out. That now, it's well established. He an ain't shit nigga. Why would you be fucking a well established ain't shit nigga? What kind of woman is she? Walk into the junkyard dogs area with a T-bone steak around your neck? No. So why the fuck are you doing this, Cynthia?
Well, at the end of the day, my thing is, you know, when you have a relationship with a person like that, as a woman, you are what the man is. And what, you know, and what about Cynthia G makes her look like she's better than anybody? Like, there's nothing about Cynthia G that makes her even seem like she's trying to be a better person than anyone else that she would talk about. I personally don't know of anything about Cynthia G where she's trying to be better than the people she talks about.
I don't know.
Her getting pregnant by a dude with 5 kids already is just simply more proof. To me, it's totally expected. It's not like it came out of left field to me.
I would have given her a pass had she been in a long-term relationship with a dude and she got pregnant. I'd been like, well, you know, hey, you know, it is what it is. Maybe she don't believe in marriage. I'd have given her a pass if she was engaged. I would have given her a pass if the dude was about to marry her at some point. She was a side chick to this nigga.
Side chick? Who is this girl?
I don't know, but she wasn't the main bitch.
My thing, it don't even matter.
She's 5 in a million.
When you like, 5 kids in, it don't even matter what your position was to him. If you're not the fiance, you know what I'm saying? Because and see, my thing is, yeah, I do believe in marriage. So my thing is, yeah, she should have been married to the dude. Now, if she takes a stance where I don't believe in marriage, then she should be living with the dude. And she's not under his roof, based on what I'm hearing. She don't live with him. So why is she having this? So even if you take that position, I don't believe in marriage, well, why are you not living with that man if you about to have his baby?
Robert,
so at the end of the day, you have no excuse.
You stuck your dick in Cynthia. But why are you not marrying Cynthia? I have questions, Robert. Robert, if you hear this, Robert, why are you not proposing to Cynthia?
I don't even think that's a good question because like I said, he's already establishing who he is. He's a guy who will have babies by random women. That's clearly established at this point. He married to none of his other baby mamas. You know what I'm saying? So he's just being him.
Let me put it like this: if she wasn't in that position to begin with, why put yourself in that position? You know.
Well, she definitely wasn't.
She wasn't at all. Nowhere near it. Well, no, she was near it. She is in it now.
Yeah, see, my thing is, yeah, if they came out and said, yeah, we've been dating each other for like 2 years and all that, this is what we wanted to do as a couple. You see what I'm saying? I totally get it. You know what I'm saying? I
Why
just
complain?
personally don't believe in marriage, so I'm not gonna do it.
Why
Okay, I
complain?
understand.
Why complain? Why complain to present fathers about absent fathers then? If your baby's father's going to be absent,
Have a baby by me, baby. Be a dollionaire.
Well, just like the other women, a lot of other women on YouTube and in the general public, at the end of the day, black women's biggest problem right now, outside of white supremacy, is the fact that they do not like black male authority and they conduct themselves and behaviors to always circumvent black male authority. So it's not that she had a problem having a baby. She had a problem having a baby by a man that would be there on a regular basis in that child's life.
which is the main thing a lot of these women complain about. I can't conceive caping for this behavior at all.
Here's what I want to know. I just want to know what happened. I'm gonna give her the benefit of the doubt. I figured maybe she thought dude was attractive. She was willing to risk it all. Why didn't you want to risk it all with birth control? Why didn't you want to risk it all with a condom?
All of it. Every bit of it. Oh.
Yeah. You know what? I'm sorry. I just can't. There's nothing in my mind that can even come to terms with the fact that she took a risk at anything. She did what she wanted to do because that's what she wanted to do it. She's a strong black woman who's independent. You know what I'm saying? She knows what she
Yeah.
wants. She has a YouTube channel. She talks
She has
about things
established
going
it.
on in the black community. She's well versed in things. She comes off like she has intelligence. She knows how to properly form sentences and all that type of stuff. Whatever she did, it was deliberate. I'm sorry.
I
Deliberately.
don't know. I wouldn't even. I'd have been like, well, at least she stuck to her guts and kept moving. If it was a white man, she didn't even do that.
I mean, if she'd got pregnant by a white man, I wouldn't have been shocked. I personally would not have been shocked. But I'm also not
No.
not shocked at the fact that she got pregnant by a guy with 5 other kids already who ain't looking to marry her. That doesn't shock me either. The only thing that surprises me, and I'm not going to even really say it's a big surprise because, like, I knew Donald Trump was going to be president just because he announced he was running. You know what I'm saying? So I know generally the American people, they turn off their thinking caps. They take off their thinking caps a lot of times. So the worst part of this is for people to act like they're surprised she got pregnant by a dude in his position. I don't even see how this can be a surprise to anybody.
Mm.
Who did you expect her to get pregnant by? What type of man was he supposed to look like?
Mm-hmm. And the moral of the story is, next time, Cynthia, instead of spending $30 on that wig, spend $30 on condoms. Spend $30 on updating that the patch, the pill, whatever form of birth control that you choose to use. Let's go ahead and spend it on that instead of that $30 wig. Um, Now let's push past. Let's talk about your brother T Money from Battle Dome, uh, Terry Crews. I just want to know how he went from being T Money in Battle Dome, talking reckless to white people, wearing gold chains, uh, fucking niggas up, to having his crotch grabbed in front of his wife and being incapable of defending himself. I need answers, fellas. What is your perspective on the whole situation, and how do you also feel about him going from forgiving, being grabbed, being a quote unquote victim, forgiving that white man, to having all this uh, male toxic, masculine toxic energy towards DL Hughley, threatening to smack that man?
Well,
Um, oh, go ahead.
no, I was gonna say everything Terry Crews is doing right now seems to be a money play by my best calculation. He's trying
Okay.
to get paid some kind of way because number one, he's too big. You know what I'm saying? He's a larger than normal black guy. Black guy already is seen as intimidating. He's larger than normal. You know what I'm saying? The man stays in the gym, works out, and all that. Kudos to him for staying healthy and all that good stuff. So at the end of the day, ain't nobody fonder than him that he don't want fonder than him. Simple as that. That's the way I'm looking at it. Now I do understand a man can grab you because he don't understand that it's a problem in that first moment. But as a man, you're gonna make sure he knows that is not a good move for him to make.
So, sir,
if you really believe that's not a good move.
Are you victim blaming?
No, I'm not victim blaming. I'm looking at things in context and in reality. In reality, as a man, you know what I'm saying? Don't get me wrong. If a man wants another man to grab his dick and play with it, he has every right to do so if that's how he wants to live his life. But if you're a man that doesn't live that lifestyle, there's, you know what I'm saying, unless something is physically wrong with you, another man grabbing your dick and playing with it doesn't happen. Just that simple. It just doesn't happen. It's never happened to me one time that it's some man that I did not want to grab my dick is grab it and play with it. It just ain't never happened to me. I'm sorry.
I'm just saying, if you're saying that you push this man back and you resist it, and then you turn around and you tell you speak at a hearing and say this attack happened twice.
Whoa, it happened twice. I missed this one. Hold on now. Wait a minute. It happened twice.
Twice the same night. Like, why was it a good idea to do it the second time? I guess on the second time, that's when his wife went to the car. Maybe the first time. I don't know. I mean,
you know what?
It doesn't surprise me in this situation at this point.
I can understand not knocking the guy out because you still want to make money. You in Hollywood and all that type of stuff. I can even give you that much. I'm not going to react the way they would typically want me to react and lose all prospects of making money in the future. I totally get that. Don't knock the man out. But you can push a guy up off you. And if nothing more, you can calmly grab his hand, his arm or his wrist and remove his hand from your penis. You see what I'm saying? You could, if nothing else, you can at least do that much.
With force. Period. He said he sat there for several minutes with this man grabbing his dick. So you telling me a motherfucker who bench press at least 350 pounds can't grab another man's hand and pull it off of his dick?
I'm sorry. Terry Crews just stay in the gym too much for me to believe that a man is fondling him and he not be okay with it.
It was a video I watched this man deadlift 300, 400 pounds. You tell him you couldn't tell this man to get off your dick. Okay, let's sidestep. Yeah, let's come from the mentality of you didn't want your career affected. Okay, that's possible. Even though Will Smith was just shown to have been kissed on the red carpet by a grown man and he popped him in the mouth. That's cool. We're gonna sidestep it. Maybe your career is not at Will Smith's level. Why couldn't you have the conversation of, hey, listen, you're getting a little too friendly. I pay you. You're my agent. You don't touch my dick, especially not in front of my wife. At what point do you not have a man-to-man conversation with another individual and say that that's not acceptable behavior?
And that's my thing. As a man, there's some kind of way. I understand not ruining your career, so I'm not gonna even trip on them like that. You know what I'm saying? If being a reasonable person, if I'm at work and somebody does something crazy to me, if I don't want to lose that job, I'm not gonna react in a crazy manner. But there's a way to express yourself, even professionally, to tell somebody a certain behavior is not acceptable and will not be tolerated. Period. It just is.
I'm just gonna say this: if you let it, just admit you wanted it. Don't sit here and try to act like that you were somehow when you were big enough to defend yourself. Any man knows to defend himself from that. Period. It ain't a choice in the matter. Either you were going to defend yourself, you were going to make sure that man knew not to fuck with you, or you sat there and you wanted it. Period. That man had the audacity to walk up there and do it in front of his wife. What made it a good idea for that man to walk up to him in front of his wife and do this shit?
You know what? Personally, I feel like as every man, every person invites certain things into their life. So if you have the dynamic of a playful, fun and go guy where things can go down, people are gonna have that energy with you. I personally believe that's Terry Crews' energy.
How do you know at one point Terry Crews ain't been on set with this man and he grabbed his ha-ha too while his wife wasn't around? I mean, shit, there might be so much to this story. How did this man figure it was a good idea to do that to Terry Crews in front of his wife?
Yeah, these are all questions I have.
Well, see, my thing is, it don't even make a difference. There are people in the world that are just total jerks. So the fact that the man did it, that's not even my issue. There's some people who
I mean,
gonna do stuff that's way out of pocket, but how you react to a person getting out of pocket with you does make a difference. You see what I'm saying? It's like a woman. It's like a woman having sex with a man that she don't know. If she accepts it, that ain't rape. You see what I'm saying?
yeah,
It's rape when she say no, don't touch me, get off me. You don't have permission. She's not giving consent. That's rape. But just because you don't know a man and he just throws you against the wall and kiss you passionately and he pull his dick out and y'all start having sex, that's not rape when you accept it and you don't say nothing about it and you start enjoying it and moaning and all that type of stuff. That's not rape. That's you enjoying sex with the man you don't know, which is your position to take if that's what you want to do with your life. So my thing is, it ain't the fact that the man is bold enough to grab his dick. It's the fact that you're not doing anything to make sure that man knows that that's not an okay decision.
yeah. I mean, I was kind of going from that angle though.
Okay,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I mean, that was a little bit of a rough explanation. Now, just to qualify, nobody's saying that. Yeah, we just gonna move away from that. But yeah, basically, yeah, I think it's a whole dynamic where he's accepted his behavior in the past, and I think the dude felt comfortable enough to do that. And whether he did or he didn't, at no point did Terry Crews have a serious sit down conversation with this man. He waited for I don't know how long to jump up on the Me Too movement, which really wasn't necessary. It was a conversation he should have with that man. Say, hey, listen, this is not acceptable behavior.
Man, if a man needs a whole movement to tell another man not to touch his dick, something's wrong with that man. I'm sorry.
I mean, personally,
So true.
I, I would have felt like a failure of a father if my son couldn't tell another man not to touch his dick. So I mean, you gotta take that how you want to take it.
Yeah, I'm not giving no pass on that one. I need to know what much more details about his story to any kind of way make me feel okay about this. Because I'm sorry, you ain't gonna just go around grabbing my dick. That ain't about to happen. Not no grown man.
But let's sidestep from the story. Why is it that Terry Crews felt like he was a victim in this scenario? He couldn't punch the Caucasian individual who grabbed. What's his name? Adam Bennett. He couldn't correct him physically. He couldn't correct him verbally. He couldn't do any of this to Adam Bennett. However, when DL Hughley, who's a comedian, decided to go on DJ Vlad asked him the question of what was going on, and the comedian gave his perspective in a comedic sense. A year later, you feel some type of way about it.
Well, my position is Terry Crews is doing all this stuff for money.
I mean,
The
that's what
man
it
is
seems like.
trying to. I'm saying the man trying to gain support of. He thinks the feminist movement is strong. Obviously, he wants to gain support with it. He wants them to help prop up his career. You know what I'm saying? I think he's afraid of not being on their side, so he's trying to get on their side, so they would say, "Hey, Terry Crews is the type of man that we should back, and we should any movie he's in, we should go to those particular movies to try to prop himself up, where he'll start making more money in Hollywood." That's how I see this whole thing. It's all a one big orchestration to get a big money grab on his part.
I'm upset.
I'm not sure he even believes the stuff he's saying.
I mean, yeah. I mean, he coming out with all this shit like we're supposed to be the ones that be the first one to support him getting touched on the dick by another man. I mean, like I'm supposed to walk on him and say, "Hey, dog. Hey, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You got fondled." And it's no. I'm not gonna say that. I'm gonna say here's what I would have done. I would have broke his finger off. And me in front of my wife. Since when did you become a bitch? Like, I don't know. It's like, and then like you were saying, Roger, about the feminist movement. Yeah, it seemed like hopping on these bandwagons right now. It's just, I guess it's because it's not easy to be a black man in America. it's easy to roll with the feminist movement because they're making that the trend, or it's easy to roll with the LGBT movement because everybody is on board with supporting LGBT. But as a black man in this country, it just doesn't seem like we're getting that much support. With the bad narratives that get spewed from women like Cynthia G, and then the man who is seemingly leader of softening the black male, Terry Crews, along with people like Damon Young.
Damon Young is man. Damon Young, boy.
And speaking of Damon Young,
to my understanding, Damon Young is gay. I'm just gonna throw that. To my understanding, he's a gay man, so he's never gonna come from a straight man.
Somebody told me he was married with kids.
That don't mean he ain't gay. I also hear he gay. And based on the stuff that I know about him, you know what I'm saying, to write an article where he separates gay black men from straight black men, I've only ever heard of a gay person doing something like
Isn't
that.
that man in your neck of the woods?
Oh Lord, I hope not.
Let's have a little clarity here. Let's have a little clarity here. The title of the article is "Straight Black Men Are the New White People to Black People." So basically, the little biatch is suggesting that straight black men don't even want to be black people anymore. That right there is an insult. It's an insult. I see it as nothing less.
I saw that a little bit differently. I saw that as the oppressive dominant force of the black community. I saw it as more of terms of a Nazi or whatnot. Well, go ahead.
No, I just saw it in terms of the regular thing that happens with white supremacy. You do white supremacy gonna set up bad stuff, and then they'll give black people money if black people will make it to be a black person's fault, and rather than say something racist themselves, they rather have a black person come out and say it so nobody can say it's a racist thing to say. So I mean, it's something that's been going on for the longest period of time. So it's nothing new to me. I don't see it as anything different. He wants to. His job is to protect. His job is to protect, the white male view and the white woman's view. You know what I'm saying? They don't want to be viewed negatively, so they got a black guy to say what they want to say, and that's where Damon Young comes in. Just as simple, and there's a lot of black people that buy into white supremacy. So he just happened to be one of them. He knows he can make money saying what white people would say.
All right. So just establish something. Are you saying being anti-black man is to be pro-white supremacy?
Not necessarily, but if it's from a black person, yes. So you can be anti-black man, and you might be like a Mexican or something. You know what I'm saying? You may not be a white supremacist technically, but you still not cool with black men on that level. You know what I'm saying? But if you're a black person and you're an anti-black man, oh yeah, you definitely a white supremacist.
Yeah, I will say in regards to black people. When I speak like this, I speak in regards to black people. I don't speak in regards to other groups. So
no, I felt you. I just said that because I know some dummies listen too. That's all.
So
you gotta clarify
something. That's what I'm talking about right there.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
yeah, absolutely. How can you be anti-black man and not be a white supremacist and you part of the black community?
Yeah, I don't give a fuck.
There's no way to be that way.
Middle Eastern, especially whites, when it comes to conversation about the black community. So you gotta understand, guys like us ain't saying this shit for white people. Guys like him, who's wearing the fucking bra right now, is saying white people. Fuck this guy. I don't care if like shit. The dude got fondled. He allowed himself to be fondled. Look at Jason Statham right now. I don't blame him for laughing.
I mean, what's gonna be a natural reaction? You over here claiming somebody
guys in the back of him. This man is making a raw ass of himself. I have to be disarming. I'm the big black man. Look at me. Like, stop, dude. Man, as a black man, You don't have that many shots. I mean, is any job worth that?
Right. But here's my problem with Terry Crews. Terry Crews put himself into a box as an actor in general. Anytime we've seen Terry Crews, he's a conceited black man.
Roger, say you're delivering pizza. Say you're delivering. You had a pizza delivery guy. You had pizza delivery service. Like you was even on the commercial. You know, you're doing James Brown moves and shit, delivering pizza. All of a sudden, you open the door. Then this door swings open. There's this white guy in the bathrobe. He immediately goes to his hand to grab your genitals. What do, man? Does that signal go off? No, motherfucker.
I mean, honestly, with that type of job, easily replaceable, knock him out. End the story on that one. I'm serious. I'm being realistic. If I'm making a significant amount of money, I'm making 100,000 or more, I won't knock the guy out, but I would make it clear to him that touching me like that is a very bad idea for him to do. And if he ever does it again, it's gonna really cost him. That's gonna be clearly understood. Now I won't knock him out because I got the job making 100 plus per year. I get that because 100 plus, they say only 7% of the country even makes 100 plus per year. So that's why I picked that number to say. So yeah, I'm just delivering pizza. Nah, that's easily replaceable. Knock him out. Don't worry about it. Just go and knock him out. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Beat him to a pulp if you want to. No problem.
Like for real, because it's like this. Let me put it like this. If you touch a woman inappropriately and she knocks you out, everybody in the area is gonna stand up for her. They might get some.
I'm totally cool with that
too. So, what was wrong with Terry Crews knocking this guy out for touching him? He was standing up for his rights. If he had done that, this man was grabbing my dick. Fuck that dude. Sucker punch. I mean, I flipped out. I mean, switch went off in my head. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry that I swole this man's face up. But, it's like, I'm just not going to let no man approach me and grab my dick in front of my wife. I'm sure anybody would have understood that. Will Smith, look at it, the dude they tried to kiss him in the mouth. He popped him in his mouth. He said lucky it didn't sucker punch him. I said that for the camera.
I totally get all that. And I'm trying to be reasonable because I work with the public and I've worked with the public for years. And I do understand that everybody is not going to react the same. And I understand you may have a family you're trying to protect and you don't want to throw your job away. I get all that. I'm giving you every benefit of the doubt. You know what I'm saying? You need this job really bad. Your family been in a tough spot. You just started making this significant amount of money. I'm giving you all that. But at the end of the day, even after giving you all that, it's still not going to be acceptable to have a man grabbing your dick and playing with it. Unless you gay. Now, if you a gay man, hey, that's y'all business. You know what I'm saying? Do what you want to do. Sure, not with no straight man. No, it's not. Not acceptable.
But you got to understand, even gay men aren't for that shit. Because there's a certain level of fuckery. Because you have to understand, gay men don't just want unwanted advances. Nobody wants unwanted advances.
That's true too. So I'm not even saying in the context that it's okay for you to just grab any guy's dick. I'm saying more like if you know that guy and y'all got a relationship with each other and that's how y'all get down, that's fine. But no, you just can't be grabbing no random man's dick. I'm sorry.
Hey, I got a new angle for this one. Do y'all know who Kimberly Foster is?
Somebody echo. Hello?
Yeah, it's Roger.
All right, now what were you saying?
Okay, do y'all know who Kimberly Foster is?
Remind me.
She's for Harriet. She put out this little PSA, black men, leave us alone if you like white.
Yeah.
She's the big hair girl, one of those shea butter feminists.
Mm-hmm.
She put out a video recently asking why black men were upset about Terry Crews. So why is there black women out there, blackness, that call black men weak and totally demonize black men? But when weakness shows up, they stand up for
it. It's just, I don't have an answer for you. These women are confused. I really feel like these women are confused. They don't know what the hell they want. I think a lot of these shea butter feminists are on the payroll for white daddy, and they want white daddy's attention and just destroy the black neighborhood in any way that they can. They'll take it any way they can get it. I mean, if you look at the way everything's going, you have Shea Butter Twitter screaming out, "Oh, well, he was a victim. Oh my God, poor Terry. He couldn't defend himself." And then when he said something, he was gonna slap DL Hughley. It became, "Yeah, you don't want that smoke, huh, DL? Yeah."
Yeah, there's plenty of articles out there right now, like talking about Terry Crews really snaps on DL. That Terry Crews gives DL Hughley a piece of his mind.
But no articles out here talking about Adam Bennett and how he went and grabbed the dude's dick.
Yeah.
Well, at the end of the day, it's okay to target a black man, but regardless, as long as you ain't targeting a white man. It just goes into that. See, like I say, Terry Crews is making a power play. So he wants to smoke with DL, but he don't want to smoke with the white guy.
Yeah, and then like I got another point. She named her publication for Harriet. She basically Harriet Tubman. Was Harriet Tubman gender first?
No, she was not. She was black people first.
She was black people first.
I heard she was on the plantation saving the black women first.
Say what?
I heard she was on the plantation saving black people first, black women first.
Oh.
Nah, Harriet Tubman was all about black people, period.
Yeah.
You had to understand, back then, they understood that no matter what you were on the plantation, you were still a black person. So they tried to gather you all up and save you the best they could. Now, today,
let me say this real quick. Harriet Tubman was a woman that worked with a lot of black men. They just highlighted Harriet Tubman. You see what I'm saying? It's not like she was out there running a whole underground railroad system by herself. She was not doing that. She was just one of the women involved, and her name was particularly highlighted. She worked with a lot of men and a lot of other women. They were about black people. They weren't about one gender. They were about saving black people. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a fan of intersectionality. Intersectionality is a problem, but we can get to that to the next topic. So you as black men, and we've kind of already gone over this. You as a black man, had you been in that position at your job, your workplace, in front of everybody, and somebody grabbed your crotch in front of your wife, your significant other, how would you have dealt with that scenario, personally?
Well, based on the kind of work you gotta fought them off. That's just how I am. I'm not gonna let you touch me inappropriately. I mean, I didn't grow up. I mean, I was Catholic growing up, and I was never touched inappropriately. I'm not gonna let some fuckbag come up to me and try to touch me inappropriately. Period. And if it got to the point where I had to be a little violent about it, it will get to the point. Period. I'm not gonna let anyone do that shit to me. Period. Like that's all. That's pretty much all I got to say.
Okay. What about you, Raj?
I'm just gonna say it wouldn't have turned out well for him. I'm gonna tell you that.
Okay. That's pretty much it, huh? So he would have turned out well. I mean, there's two ways I would have handled it personally. I probably would have grabbed dude. Had it been a situation where I knew eyes was on me and I couldn't really fuck up, then I would have grabbed dude's hand and pulled him off me, and we would have had the conversation. What the fuck you doing? You don't do this. But in the same dynamic, we also have an additional person to the party. We got William. What's going on, Will?
Hey guys, what's going on?
Welcome to You Ain't Shit for watching. On here I've got Roger and Kev.
Hey Kev.
We talking about a couple things tonight, and since you came in, this is the tail end. We're gonna move into the Jussie Smollett situation in a second. But are you familiar with what happened with Terry Crews?
Are you talking about the which one when somebody grabbed his crotch or something
Yeah,
like that?
Adam Bennett
Yes.
grabbed him at a party in front of his wife, grabbed his crotch for several minutes, and began to fondle him, quote unquote.
Caressed him. He caressed his crotch.
Now, uh, had you been in an environment, a workplace, and somebody unwantingly grabbed your crotch in front of your significant other, how would you have responded as a black man?
That's pretty awkward, actually. I've had it done at work, and
Oh,
it's really weird and very uncomfortable situation to deal with. And then on top of that, being a black man, you have to, how should I say this, watch your level of blackness
That's a
because
good way to
they
say
never
it.
see the initial on what happened. It's your response to that said incident. So, I definitely relate to Terry Crews and him not taking it to 10. Last thing he needs to be, especially him being in the media, is to be portrayed as another angry black guy or a homophobic thing. And, they have ways of spinning anything that they want there. But coming
so
from,
so
regular Joes like us, you know,
so you
my
feel like somebody being upset about somebody grabbing their crotch would be a homophobic move, or you just feel like it can be portrayed as that?
it can be portrayed as that. And especially but I don't know, like and especially in Terry Cruz's place, like, if in front of his wife or whatever, not to say that you have to let your ego come out, but at the same time, like, there's a way to put them in check and make them feel less than without, you coming across as, angry. Because some people are like, oh, I would just beat him up. And I'm like, and lose your livelihood over something that you're both fired and looking stuck, so there is a way to, you know, mitigate and put them in check and kind of deal with that situation and
So
even go
what you're
to.
saying is, even if you don't physically, wipe his ass like Will Smith did to the dude who kissed him on the red carpet, you could have checked that man without hitting him. You could have been like, "Hey, listen, you don't. That's not what we do." Because I know
Right.
plenty of gay men. I've never had a gay friend or a gay acquaintance just grab my crotch out in the public. Period. Point blank. So that's not what homosexual men do. Now, there's some aggressive weirdos who do that straight or gay or straight either way. But I just
Yeah.
I don't associate that with homophobia. If you check a motherfucker for grabbing your crotch, but
Yeah, there's some people that have you ever talked to some people, especially those of, I would say, Caucasian descent? They
listen.
don't
So
understand. They
let
don't
me
understand boundaries.
let me
You
stop you
understand?
here. My show
Mhm.
is You Ain't Shit for Watching. You can act a motherfucking fool on my show and say whatever the fuck you feel, but proceed.
Thank you. Um, they have this thing with boundaries. Like, they don't necessarily fully understand boundaries, and I don't know what that is. You notice that when they talk to you, they're either super close and all in your face, or like they'll just like run up on you, like, "Hey, can I have this?" Or like, "Hey, how are you today?" I'm like, back up, just a little bit." So maybe it's just a level of comfortability on their part, and even when it comes to um and if you think about it, sexual orientation and just things sexually in general, like, it's whatever to them. Like, they don't necessarily categorize it. They do when it's convenient for them and or Republicans. I don't know. They'll categorize it sometimes, but in general, like, they're just like whatever. That's why you got the bromance, and like some people are comfortable with just, like, yeah, dude, I'll just like go up and like grab that shit. You know what I mean? And it's just, I don't know. They get weird stuff like that. And if you watch them, just regular straight white guys or whatever, you watch them at the bar and stuff like that, after a couple beers and stuff like that, they're huggy on each other. And like, you see some weird stuff and you're like, I know these guys are straight, but you know,
They
sort
they
of
doing some weird homoerotic type shit.
yeah.
This is
Granted, I don't mind, but just
and just to
curious as
clarify,
watching
because
this.
I want to clarify your position. What I don't know if you feel comfortable saying this on the air, but what is your we'll go with sexuality.
Uh Fluid, I guess you could say. More so fluid.
Fluid.
I am like I love attractive people. Like that's it. So
So you jump to whatever you
and,
feel. So I guess that would be what bisexual.
yeah. I like
Okay.
attention. I
So
like attention.
we have an
So,
outside perspective.
let me ask you a question, please.
Okay.
So, do you believe in that stuff, pansexual stuff like that? Are you saying you pan because isn't that what that is? You love attractive people. Doesn't matter if they're a man or a woman.
I guess.
That's a very good question. I will say with this new day and age and this whole like politically correct and everything fits into a box, I find a lot of that stuff kind of weird. I'm not gonna lie to you. And
Yeah, I just want to see.
and I still like even with the trans thing or whatever, like I get it, but not really all at the same time. So if that makes any sense. But I guess like in general, like I don't know, like if you're
So I'm just gonna say this though. I don't have a problem with how a person lives their life, but I'm just gonna say with that part, they're being a little pushy. It's starting to feel very pushy, So
wait, I'm sorry, say that again. I think my phone was breaking up a little bit.
no, I was just saying, with that particular movement and everything that's going on, I think they're being a little pushy. That's what I'm saying.
I could agree with that, and not everybody's willing to accept it and stuff. And what was it? I was watching something the other day on, huh?
I said it's cool if a person accepts it, but I'm just saying, you push and push and push and push and push. And
don't push it on me.
I'm just saying, and it seems like the way the media is going, I've seen a few stories here and there. It seems like they're trying to push it on children, as far as like the trans.
You can choose your gender and stuff like that. Like I don't agree with that stuff, and I think you have to be careful on how you train your children.
Yeah, ain't no way in hell you can choose your gender at 8 years old. You don't even know if you like Susie up the street. Girls are still icky. So how the fuck you still choosing your gender?
Yeah, I don't understand that, and I understand that there's a politically correct thing in there and a way for you to accept things, and I think that as a parent you can do a better job of explaining things, but to push it, push that agenda, and it does seem very agenda-ish. I don't understand it. Now, granted, like I know I've encountered some people that are trans, male and female. Would I date them? No, but do you? Like I don't hate you for that. Like does that make any sense?
Yeah. But I don't. But what? Here's how I don't feel like it makes sense. I don't feel like someone like Laverne Cox should be telling people that if you don't like trans women as a heterosexual man, you're insecure.
What I don't like about that is first of all, I think the whole purpose of being with a woman is for procreation. So I understand that you identify and you might even have done some things to make your stuff kind of look like that, but at the same time you still don't have the mechanics of a woman. So I feel like that would take off half the fun. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Plus, if a man knows that you used to be a guy, they don't have to do anything with you. I mean, that's like me walking up to women on the random and say, because I am who I am, you should date me. And if you don't date me, you're insecure. I view that as the same thing, kind of.
Actually, I low key wish that kind of worked because I will show walk up on Rihanna ass. Hey Rihanna, listen.
Don't you know who I am?
Listen, right. Rihanna, you ain't trying to date me. You got something wrong with you, baby, internally.
Yeah,
something on the inside needs to be fixed.
You saying I don't have enough money? Like that's what do they call
Rihanna
that?
Needs to marry me. She needs to marry me, and she should be ashamed if she won't marry me. So I can be in position to divorce her later and take half her fortune. And if she's not gonna put herself in that position, for me to take half her fortune, there's something wrong with her.
And Rihanna got real money. Like you might come up missing after that. Like, oh, you want what? You better take your full $5 to your Uber ride.
with my half, I can protect myself. I ain't worried about it.
You got this in the bag.
But yeah, you're absolutely right. I saw something. I think it was probably on YouTube or some sort of. I don't know where I saw it, but it was talking about Big Brother, the show Big Brother. I guess on either this season or one of the past seasons that Genuine was on there
Yeah,
for the UK edition, and they had a trans whatever on it. I don't watch the show. I guess a trans woman on there, and she, sorry, I
get it
guess they were
right,
talking
sir.
about that issue, and then she kind of goes up to Genuine and starts kind of throwing herself onto Genuine or whatever, and he's like,
Trying to ride that pony.
yeah, it's like, nah, back up, bro. And kind of, was like pushing him off and like, rejected those advances. And they were initially trying to look at him or trying to classify him as, being anti whatever and Me Too or whatever clause that they got going on these days. And I just didn't think that that's fair, because if that was a black man doing that, you know, um, you know, we would be arrested or have all sorts of scrutiny placed on us, and that's not being a male in general. Like, you can't just do that to females. Like, if they don't want your advances, they don't want it. So what is the same thing in this case? Like,
You
he's
actually,
still,
you're making a good point, because she literally, the transgender woman, if you didn't see it, because I saw it, the transgender woman literally tried to kiss Genuine, and Genuine jumped back and wouldn't allow it. And that's why they attacked him. So yeah, if a black man was just trying to go around and kiss random white woman, that's gonna be a problem.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I just, like, if that's what you're into, like, that's cool. And as I think that as long as you're upfront about whatever it is that you got going on, then that's cool too. But, should I be forced to, date that? Like, no, I don't think
Yeah,
that that's fair.
like your boy Christian Keys. Christian Keys is one of those, like, he's one of those straight to video actors that he stars in kind of the lower budget black films about love and trying to send positive messages. And he made a video. I guess he Instagrammed a video saying that hey, look here, guys. Can y'all please stop sending me like dick pics and stop getting in my DMs talking about what you want to do. I mean, live your truth, but respect mine. And they got up in arms about that. Like, we're gonna stop supporting him. Like, it's like he's just saying, like, what is wrong with somebody saying, I don't want your advances?
No, I think it's just first world issues. Like, we need something to protest and to, they're bored with their life, especially whites. Like, they don't really understand the struggle, so they just need something to complain about, and that's what it is.
Yeah, pretty much.
I see there's a problem of if a black man says, do not make an advance toward me, based on societal issues, no one wants to respect it, and people feel they don't have to respect a black man saying, I don't want your advance.
I mean, yeah.
I don't understand.
I see it. Well, I mean, when black men say, don't make an advancement toward me, they say, well, you're against a whole community. You're against the trans community because you don't want a trans woman making an advance at you.
No,
a guy says, don't DM me because I'm not gay. He asked the guys not to DM him because he's not gay, but now he's against the community. See, those are the narratives they create simply because that black man said, don't make advances at me because you're not what I'm trying to be with. Like, he's not allowed to have a choice.
Yeah, I don't agree with that. And like, I get it. And like I said, like, there's some things that I don't necessarily understand or agree with, but
any person should essentially be able to freely go and date or be with or go after or want who they want, purely based off of attraction or basically attraction. And that's physical, mental, whatever the case is. If you're attracted to that person, you go be attracted to that person. But in no way, shape, or form should you be forced to be attracted to anyone.
Right. That's pretty much it in a nutshell.
All of that is out of pocket and out of control. But that's the narrative we live in right now. You are forced to be attracted to someone who you just may not think is worth shit. I may not want to be with. Could you imagine if a motherfucker like Cynthia G's dude, who she's pregnant by, I ran up to women. Well, you not attracted to me, because I have 6 kids or 5 kids and 1 on the way, and that's something wrong with you.
I'm making a new term. That's kidsism. You don't like me because I got more than 1 kid. But yeah, first of all, yeah, you're damaged goods, so I probably don't blame any of the other guys that wouldn't want to be with you either.
So let's get to the final topic of the night, or the day, should I say? We usually do this at night, so I'm cussing. Damn, it's snowing outside. It's all bad.
Are you in Philly?
Yeah. So final topic is, the question I have is, as everybody's aware, the dude from Empire, his name is Jussie Smollett. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that correctly. Now, allegedly, he went out to go eat. He was beaten in what's considered a racial and homophobic attack. He was out in, I believe, Chicago. Yeah, he was in Chicago. I can't honestly. We'll get into the details later. But he was going to go get a Subway sandwich or a sandwich at one of these sub shops that are 24/7 in Chicago. While he was out, some Caucasian individuals saw him. They basically beat him. They called him nigger. They used the F word. Rhymes with paggot. And they hung a noose around his neck. He barely escaped, and I guess he lived to tell his tale. Now, they did an investigation. With the investigation, they apparently reviewed hundreds of hours of footage. They didn't see him getting his ass whipped. They did see him on one side of the street and 2 other individuals in masks on the other side of the street. They both went off camera.
This was before it happened.
Yeah, they apparently before it happened, they saw them go off camera, and then he came out a few minutes later with, I guess, a rope around his neck. After the beating took place, now he was in the hospital. Everybody, best wishes to that brother. Hopefully he gets better. But he wouldn't give up his cell phone. So a lot of this sounds fishy just in general. Now, Raj, Radio Raheem, you live in Chicago, right?
Yeah, he dropped off.
Oh, he dropped off. Okay. Well, from my understanding, Chicago right now, it's freezing cold. It's polar, North Pole right now. It's freezing cold out there in Chicago. So my understanding is, if you are in that kind of weather, which I'm currently in now, you bundle up. You got to have on a face mask, a hoodie, a beanie, something. You covered all the way up from head to toe. We'll live out here in the cold cities like I do where it's snow. You got to cover all the way up. And if you're leaving out at 1 a.m., how did they know who you were to whoop your ass? How did they know you was a gay man? I can't imagine him walking down, sashaying down the street.
The man had a fist in the air, screaming his name. I'm Jussie Smollett. I'm on Empire.
Now, first off, from everything that we heard from the news media, do you feel like this was a racial attack, or do you feel like this was a homophobic attack, or do you feel like it was both?
I mean, from the way they make it sound, it was a racist, homophobic attack by Trump supporters. The leader of all things racist right now, according to them. That's how the media makes it sound. The media.
Right. I mean, I'm just like reading over the story. Like, I do share in some of your skepticism. I'm just curious though. I mean, okay, first of all, you walking down the street, and whether you're bundled up or not or whatever, like, you could tell that that's a dude, and you could tell by the way you walk, like, that's there goes a queen. You know what I mean? So
do you because I know plenty of gay. I don't know too many who walk with a sachet. Like I couldn't tell just
You
from
haven't been
watching
to New
somebody
York
walk.
yet, have you?
Oh, well, maybe so, maybe so. But I just like I thinking of all like the men I know that are same gender loving men. I can't just like if I'm walking down the street, I'm not gonna be like, he look gay from the way he walking. But
I love that term, by the way. Uh, but at the same time, like and maybe it's because um, I have a knack to identify anybody. Like I'm very analytical. Some say judgy, but whatever. So I can kind of like tell, look at this one. And then like you kind of know, you come out with some leather pants and your souped up colors and stuff like that. Like I don't know what he was wearing when he decided to go out and be seen at 2 a.m. on a Monday night or Tuesday morning.
bro, are you saying Jussie Smollett came out in some hot pants?
Yeah,
He was out in that cold in some assless chaps.
yeah, ass titties. That's the only thing about that skit from Chappelle's show. Oh, that's so funny. But you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But I don't know what he decided to come out in. Okay, and it could have been um it could have been a setup altogether, like number one, because in Hollywood, like you got to pay some sort of dues to get to the status that you are. Sometimes things come off as a warning or whatever. So maybe that was his particular setup or challenge or what have you. Because I used to live in Chicago too, and I'm not, and I know how bad Chicago can be, but somebody of his status like going out by himself on a bad part of town, I don't necessarily see that happening. So 2 a.m. you're out by the subway and stuff like that, and all of a sudden two random guys after you come from a particular sandwich shop just decided to attack you. um how did they know if you were actually bundled up, which I assume you were? And you just don't hear about attacks like that in Chicago, random racial slur, and it could be. Like I don't know. Like
In Chicago,
I don't
chased
know.
Donald Trump out.
Did they do
Yeah,
what?
they did. Yeah, they did. Way back when they chased him out.
I mean, I don't think that's
Mm,
MAGA country. I don't think Chicago is MAGA country.
I don't think so either. Chicago is a little bit corrupt, but I don't necessarily see this being a regular thing. And then even if they saw like a quick black guy, like how would they know that he's gay? Like, was this an initial attack? Because, like I said, they could have been sitting across the street, like, "Oh, look at him! Like he's gay. Let's go get him." And then come to find out he's black too. Or it could have just been like, maybe they saw his face and be like, "Yeah, let's go get him because he's black." And then it turns out that he's gay, and because he has a more feminine look to him or whatever. And they decided to run with that too. But how I just like I question it altogether because Chicago being the diverse city that it is, like where did you get the news from if this wasn't staged?
I want to know, like, can you go to the store? Is there a Walgreens around that you can go purchase a noose from? How did you?
And the decorations are on the tree instead of like a rack. Like, oh, yeah.
Do you just walk around like you Blade, but you got a noose? Like you prepared at all times to hang it, nigga? Like what's going on here?
Nooses and whips. Is that like what side of town is that again? Yeah, I don't know. Like, I'm just saying, like that seems awfully prepared for you to have, you know, a noose just chilling out on you. I wouldn't know how to make one of those. So I don't know. Unless they're like Boy Scouts gone bad.
I mean, the
Like,
whole situation sounds janky, but here's what I personally believe happened. I feel like that man got to Chicago, and from having gay friends, I've heard about an app called Grinder, and you get on that app, you meet for random male hookups. I feel like he went on that app and found him some man booty, and was willing to risk it all. Now he got there. From what I'm hearing is sometimes you get caught up, and motherfuckers be on some funny shit with you, and they went to go beat his ass up. I think that's why he don't want to give up his cell phone.
it could be, it's cold there and you just want some vitamin D. I get it. And Yeah, it could have been. It could have been a hookup gone bad, and that's it. Because why else would you be out? Like, who goes out on Mondays? You know, yeah, I can totally see that at 2 a.m. Like, I'll meet you on the corner, just so I can, spot you out at first or whatever. And, but even then, like, why would you bring a noose? Like, I don't know. But and then
I
again, like, okay, hooking up on those sites and stuff like that, it does seem
that it's random as
sketchy.
fuck. Like I just don't
Yeah,
understand
it
how
is.
you would just be out and about waiting in the cut. Like, oh yeah, we're gonna see a nigga tonight. We got the news. We're gonna see a nigga eventually, even though it's 13 below. Mm-mm.
Yeah,
I wonder how they even came up with that idea. Like, hey guys, like I got an idea. Let's download Grinder. Let's get somebody tonight. And it just so happened to be him. Like, oh yeah, flirt with this one.
What
You
is
know.
that? What's
What
that
does the
movie?
profile say? What does profile say? Empire Star and LGBT is Jussie Smollett.
It could have, or it could have had a picture of him. Like I don't know, I haven't really watched Empire unless he's doing like a racy scene. It could have had a picture of him doing that, or of Empire in general. Like they have some like random profile pics on there, or
Are,
whatever.
are
So
are there celebrities on there like openly just out like fuck it? I would imagine you'd have some kind of fake picture or something.
no, in general, like they would probably have either private, or they would have something like how do you say, like a random other picture on there.
Mm, as a setup, and then you get there, and I guess I surprise. Okay, okay, that makes sense. Yeah, I mean the whole situation sounds suspect. I remember from watching Boogie Nights, it was they caught Mark Wahlberg's character on some. They picked him up on the corner and they had him, pull his dick out and some funny shit, and they beat him on some homophobic man bashing type shit. So that's just what I picture would happen with Jesse Smollett. He just too embarrassed to admit it that he was caught out there, going for sex.
And then you tried to say, no, you saying that he got cut up doing that, and then he tried to say, then he tried to say that he was attacked by homophobic, racist Trump
Yeah,
supporters.
Well, he probably
and they
was
have a
attacked by
news.
homophobic, racist Trump supporters. I just think the scenario of how he got there was not what he said. The shit don't add up.
So I don't understand why the police would be asking for his phone if they're investigating um, that particular crime, but a hate crime. Why
But
would
I,
they need
I,
his
I
phone
think
anyway?
that's because they probably came to the same conclusion. They said, "Wait a minute, we've," because this might be a string or a rash of things that's going on in the neighborhood. So they might be already kind of aware of something and was like, "Okay, well, let me see your phone." And within 2 minutes of seeing his phone, they would have got more information from it and been like, "Oh, okay, this is what it was." But he don't want to give that information up.
I just think that that's very private. Like that's kind of your livelihood on there, and the way that you see these celebrity pictures, like, oh, look at so and so's
Yeah,
crotch,
that
or
that
like, you
too.
know what I mean. So, would you just randomly give up your phone?
I
Would
no, but I
yeah.
do know that they'll ask that sometimes for you to give your cell phone just to get a grasp of what's going on. So it's his choice, but at the end of the day, all of this shit is kind of sometimes funny.
I agree. I think the situation is set up, but I think it's the question is like who's it set up by, because I think that there's a little bit more to it than this. And if I don't see it him necessarily lying about this, because why would you lie about that? Like that would be, how do you say, that would be something that you can come out and still be a spokesman for. Like, listen, like I went on Grinder, and I tried to meet up with somebody, and this is what happened, and if it can happen to me, it can happen to you, kind of thing, or whatever. So he could spin that in any direction that he wants. So
Yeah, but I also think
I don't
that's a
understand
tough
why he would
road.
lie.
I think that's a tough road to walk because then it becomes, well, nigga, you out here trying to get random booty. What's going on? You a celebrity, bro? Or
But sometimes
or you
you
could
just
have had
want
a
to be
boyfriend.
regular.
Because what he
Dealing
fucking Lee Daniels?
You said what?
What he fucking Lee Daniels?
Who wasn't?
Oh wow.
Allegedly. That's what we'll say. But I mean, I don't know. I remember a few years back, I think it was in New York, I want to say, there was a guy that he tried to do like that was on the down low, tried to do a random hookup. He ended up getting killed and chopped up and thrown somewhere in the river or whatever, only to find out that it came from Grinder or whatever. And, like it was, scary to some that are always on that site, like, yo, be careful. So if this were to happen to a celebrity, like he shouldn't be embarrassed to speak his truth. And so, I don't know if it's, a random hookup. And sometimes you just want to be with regular people if you were a star,
Maybe,
like,
maybe he just wanted to smell what the cock was cooking.
Yo,
Shit.
that's Chicago style hot dog, huh?
Oh, that's funny.
That's not what we mean by Chicago style hot dog. I'm sorry. It's not what we mean.
I love that. He's looking for a Chicago dog. I love it.
Yeah.
Oh, that is too funny.
Yo, that's what. So, Rod, since you back on, what is the weather like out there? How cold is it? If you was going out at night, how would you be dressed?
Now, you know what? Chicago's a different type of town. I jokingly tell people that's not from here, you can have all 4 seasons in the same day sometimes. And 2 days ago it was negative 16. Right now it's 28 degrees. Chicago funny, you know what I'm saying? And they saying by Monday it's gonna be in the 50s. So right now you good. Right now you're good. You still gotta wear a jacket, but you're good. If you sat through the month of cold days, you all right with what the weather is right now. It's a whole lot better right now. So this is the time to visit if you're gonna visit. But I can't tell you what it's gonna be like a week from now. I'm sure the cold streak is not over.
So do you think when he went out that he was just wearing a jacket on light to where they could see his face, or do you think he was bundled up on the time frame that he went out?
And see, my thing is, which day did this happen on? Because if it happened, it's a very good chance that he was totally bundled up, and he was cool to be bundled up because it was so cold.
Let's say it was last week. I think it was last week.
Yeah, you wouldn't have to explain why you were bundled up. You know what I'm saying? You could be all the way in the mask and everything, depending upon what day it was. He was good to go. So if he was trying to keep stuff on the low, he'd have been able to do so without being questioned. Now, I did look up the neighborhood Streeterville because I heard that it had something to do with Streeterville, so I went to look at exactly what neighborhood that was. And I'm not going to say it's a gay neighborhood, but I mean, it's like, it's in downtown Chicago. And downtown Chicago, a lot of the gays do kind of hang out in downtown. Everybody goes to downtown. So, you'll find them there. It's not going to be everybody because it's downtown Chicago. Everybody comes there. But there'll be plenty of them there. So I don't know if the man's really trying to have something on that level or not, but it's not out the realm of possibility based on your location. Because and this is my personal perspective. And I actually lived in downtown for a couple of years myself. When I had like a grandmother that lived downtown, and a little bit before she passed away, we had different family members come live with her for a little while. I lived with her maybe a year and a half, 2 years, right in downtown Chicago. If you want to find gays, you definitely come to downtown Chicago. They're gonna be there every day. You know what I'm saying? It's not gonna be hard to find once you're in those areas. So, but I can't say he was in a specific area more, because there's a more specific area that you go to if you really want to look for gay people. And that's an area called Boys Town. You're going to find other people in Boys Town as well. But if, like, you really, really looking for gay folks, you go to Boys Town. Streeterville, yeah, they there too, but, it's not like it's super full of gays, So it still could be looked at as a regular neighborhood, just a regular, very high-end neighborhood. Very high-end.
Okay. Oh, I see we got Joe on here from BMT. Joe. What's going on? What do you think about our brother Jussie Smollett? What do you do now? I think the attack happened. I don't think anybody says the attack didn't happen. I'm getting to it happened a different way from what he says it happened. How do you feel about the situation, everything going on with that whole scenario?
Well, pretty much he. Right now, what we're looking at is he put his career. He's putting his career on the line right now. And this is for me. And I mean, it's no secret that I'm a conservative and a Republican. Now, I'm gonna tell you right now because you already know I covered the case. Donnie, about this shit is he lying. He lying.
So you don't think he got his ass whooped at all, or you don't think that he
No,
got
no,
his
no,
ass
no,
whooped
no.
by students?
Okay, I won't take. I'm not gonna say he didn't get his ass whooped because there have been gay men that have tweeted about this shit, saying that he was out and about. He he tried to steal another dude's man from the club, which they have said he's been known to go to different clubs and try to, report his swag.
Oh, so he was out
Yep.
there.
Yep.
He was trying to take somebody's man, and he had to catch an L for it. Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah, right, right. Now the thing that's crazy about it is because but
It still doesn't
I
explain where the noose came from.
huh?
That still wouldn't explain where the noose came from. Even if he was at the club and you try to holler at somebody's man or you doing it up in the club or whatever, like where did they just decide to go get a noose from after whooping you? And did
So let's go along with that. So where the hell is it? If they put a noose around his neck, why is there no kind of laceration damage under his neck?
No, they caught on camera. They didn't catch the ass, but they did catch him on camera coming out from around the corner with the rope.
Now, okay, and now the thing about it is this. Now, here's the thing about it. Now, because they caught it on camera. Now, funny thing enough about it is most of all the camera footages, and I even showed it up on my channel, it's not adding up to what he's saying. None of it's adding up. And the thing about it that what they're trying to do is say, yo, man, before this gets any darker or any more worse for you, you need to be honest. Because he has yet submitted his phone to the police. So that way they can go check on anything. Why didn't you pull out your phone? Why didn't you actually he did all the stuff that you would normally do? If somebody's randomly coming up on you, first of all, his face don't have no damage on it, which is amazing to me because if you know anything about taking blows to the face, especially in the freezing cold, your face would be swelling up.
He had a cut on his eye.
Yeah.
Oh God! Oh my God! I didn't know.
So you don't feel like that's enough?
If somebody beating your ass, come on, bro. Just one person enough punching you, you ain't gonna just get a cut under your eye. That don't even sound like. I mean, what the fuck? He was fighting a Pokemon? Like, come on, bro. Like, really?
Let me interject something real quick.
Now, let's hit up. No, let's look up the next thing. Now, it's funny because I spoke to people who live in Chicago. They said, yo, why didn't you call Uber Eats? Why did you call Grubhub? All those doggone delivery services around that time of night. Because mind you, the streets, it wasn't logical to actually want to be out there if you could be out there.
Hold on.
Now, Rod, Rod, you hard to hear. So whatever you need to do with your mic, you need to do with your mic.
Okay. Well, let me say this real quick. If it happened in Streeterville, which I looked up, this is a very high-end area, tourist attraction area. Navy Pier is in Streeterville. Yeah. So if anything were to happen in Streeterville, you're going to automatically get a very quick police response. You know what I mean? Like, it's hard to think. This ain't the place to go beat up people.
That's the thing about it. That's the thing about it, Roger. Because like when I googled when people go, now here's the thing. When people googled the location of his incident, now mind you, in most of Chicago, you and I both, I've been up in there before. There are cameras on the doggone on the posts of those areas. So I'm like, nigga, if you got your ass whooped in that area, why can't they find the footage? Like, that don't make no logical sense, bro. It amazes me, like, when niggas, usually when they get by the police or get an ass or something, usually we always have a phone on standby. We always have a phone or some shit. You mean to tell me that you did not get no kind of phone out. You didn't call nothing. You didn't try to at least call for a homeboy or anything. No, you didn't. That don't make no damn sense.
Okay, when it comes to the fight or flight response, that might not have been his first reaction to get my phone out or do that or whatever. It could have just been,
Very
get this
valid.
whatever.
So if you're gonna say that, okay, you want to say that ain't it, but then somehow you gonna be on doggone phone with doggone Daniel Lee talking about, oh, I was so brave. Man, get the fuck out of
But
here.
this is this is after the fact. This is after the fact.
But man, who goes to fuck the FaceTime to go talk about your getting your ass whooped? But
Everybody
listen,
does. We live in an
no,
age
no,
of
nobody goes
social
to
media
no
where
FaceTime
you
after
put
the ass
that
whooping.
experience on there, and the reason why Facebook they cut off some of that live video chat stuff is because people were
Putting
either
too much
doing
on there.
violent crimes, killing, and stuff like that, all live. So and especially if you are a social media star, like that's the first place you're gonna go is because that's what feels like home.
Listen,
What
listen. It amazes me that all of a sudden gay people want to call on black men to ban toward their fucking calls. But
Uh-oh.
shit, they didn't give a fuck about our goddamn plights when
Well,
our men are getting shot. But all of a sudden they need us for what Jesse got beat up. Us as black. Hold on. First of all, Don Lemon didn't say us blacks. He was saying LGBT community. He made sure he reminded Kevin of that shit. So all of a sudden, when one of y'all get your ass whipped, y'all want to call the black man to come help you. Nah, fuck y'all. Y'all handle your own goddamn shit.
What
Your fairy got his ass whooped. Let him take that fucking goddamn L.
bruh,
Fuck y'all beat us in.
I don't even understand where this is coming from right now. Let me
I don't even know where to start on that.
That is a black man saying, fuck him.
but
Go
he's a
call
black
Terry
man
Crews.
too, so I don't understand what the problem
Man,
is.
go call Terry Crews then. They got plenty of niggas like him that can come save your ass.
What Joe,
What does he have to
Yeah,
do?
Joe. I'm trying to see where you're coming from, Joe.
I'm
Real
trying to
talk.
get the logic of this. Like, I understood you, and then not all at the same time. Like, you're gonna have to summarize
yeah,
that.
I'm gonna need you to break that down. So you feel like
All right.
gay men are
Good.
separating themselves? Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah. Oh yeah, they do that. They definitely do that. Gay men definitely separate themselves from black men. They do that shit quite
So, what
often.
about the gay black
Quite
one?
often. Huh?
What about the gay black ones?
They pull that shit all the time. We see that shit. We
Nah,
see that shit all the time on the
Nope, let
fucking
him dig his hole.
on fucking Tamar Braxton and all them shit. On almost all these goddamn platforms, they don't be considering themselves like black men. Nobody wants to be in the lower ditches with the black men. Only
Uh,
until something hits the fan and then they want to fuck with us. Y'all black men need to join up with. Nah, bitch, fuck you. You wasn't fucking with us before. Don't call on us now. Fuck that. They
William, would you
Okay,
always
like to
call on
handle
the
that?
black man when shit hits the
so
fan.
far, I understand what you're saying, and
Oh.
especially somebody of this particular community. So, in general, everybody likes categories, and the gay community is no different, But
Mm.
in general, like they think that you're black and you're gay, or you just fit into that category, like black, So in a sense, I understand what you're trying to say that even black gay men, they're still not a part of that the acceptance of the gay population as a whole. Like you're still treated separately, and now that this has happened, or because they want to um, how do you say promote their particular agendas for whatever, they now are calling upon us to do that, and where we haven't been a part of their societal views at all, but now all of a sudden you want to include us in it. So yeah, I understand what it is that you were saying, but in general, for somebody that fits into both of those categories, like there's still black gay guys out there.
Well, I'm gonna say this. Did they give out the exact street this stuff happened to? Because see, this is my thing. I'm looking at what the neighborhood is supposed to be in. This is a very high end neighborhood. This is like one of the worst places in Chicago to pick to have a fight. It doesn't really come out well for you, especially if you're black.
You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I
And
can't
who
even
does
figure.
and who doesn't have a voice there? Like
That's
that's
why it
the
don't add
biggest
up,
question.
Roger. That's why
Yeah.
it don't add up, Roger. I mean, I'm saying I combed over the shit, man.
No, no,
Nobody
no.
can find no.
I'm agreeing with you, Joe, on that degree. My thing is like, if see, I live in Chicago, I grew up here. I'm not gonna have a fight in Streeterville. If I'm gonna have a fight, we can have that fight somewhere else, but we ain't gonna have it down there. You know what I mean? Like,
Bro,
no.
right about it. When I did the story on it, now I literally make sure over Streeterville today, which is one of the big. So you gotta understand, it's money.
I think your phone is breaking
Yeah,
up.
you cutting out, Joe.
Now what happens next is this. So I said, well, fuck. What happens at nighttime? That place is still lit up. It still has great lighting. So I'm like, hold on, bro. Where did you go? Because first of all, you're not even from Chicago. Let's be for real. If you're not from that area, you're not gonna just walk around any old type of way like you know the goddamn layout. Especially in no damn Chicago now, bro. You ain't doing that.
No, no, no. In that area, you pretty safe in that area. I will say that.
Now, now,
Streeterville,
now,
you literally can't walk around because the chance of something happening to you ain't that big.
now,
Yeah,
okay.
It,
I
So,
walk around
so
in
if
foreign
you're gonna say that,
destinations all the time. So I
but
mean, he
now,
could. And I know you mentioned the Uber Eat thing earlier. Like, I don't like others really handling my food, so I would rather
Yeah, man, that's a
walk
problem.
out and go do it if I could. So
so go ahead. I mean, if we're gonna use all that, then let's get out the nitty gritty. If we're gonna say that he's using all that, so he don't want people to handle his food. He don't want to do X, Y, and Z. I'm trying to figure out that if that's the case, and you got this type of issue going on, why didn't you go back to Subway? Why didn't you go back to a area location where there's people at? If you
right.
see, but I'm just saying, like logically, Roger, come on now, bro. Now you
No,
gonna tell me that some random people like that in a poor area, mind you, we know Chicago has a big area incident of for black people, for black men, for
no, no.
racism.
What I'm saying to you, Joe, is in Streeterville, you're pretty much gonna be okay. But I also agree with you on the fact that if something happens to you down in that area, it's a very high possibility that it's gonna be on camera and you're gonna get a quick police response if anything goes. That's a very protected part of Chicago. They protect
Right,
downtown. They'll let mess go on in other places in the city, but they keep downtown tight. You know what I'm saying? That's where the tourists come. You know what I'm saying? That's
yeah,
what
right,
Navy Pier is. They're not gonna
right,
let you just be wild down in downtown Chicago. That's
right.
that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying somebody won't do
mm,
something because somebody will do something anywhere. But downtown Chicago, nah, you don't go to downtown Chicago to start trouble. That's what I'm saying. That ain't the place for
I
it.
keep that on the
But I'm
south side.
saying they been gay dudes who already called his ass out. Gay dudes, flame dudes say, listen, bro, you got caught trying to go around the street trying to find one of our own. We caught your ass. We slapped you around and call it like it is. Just take your L, bro. You wasn't looking for no goddamn sub. You looking for some goddamn man meat, and you got slapped around.
Or he was
You
looking for
didn't
some
pay.
kind of foot long.
Chicago
You
hot
looking for
dog.
some goddamn man meat. So he did that. Don't be calling the black. See, this is why I be saying, black man, we can't be answering all these fucking goddamn calls like we the goddamn white knight Bojang and the hoe. Like now they're saying, oh, because us black men, we ain't saying shit. We homophobic. Man, fuck y'all Negroes,
What
man.
Joe? Before you go too far deep in, I'm gonna say this.
I'm about
You
to
are
call him
making a
out, bro.
point. I do agree with
I'm
the
hot
fact.
about this shit,
No,
bro.
no, no. I feel you, but
Joe,
I'm saying I'm trying to make a one point to agree with you. If you're
Go ahead.
looking for any type of gay type of relationship, it's not that there's not regular folk downtown, but you know you will find the gays downtown too. You see what I'm saying? So I'm
I
not gonna
agree.
say what that man was looking for, but if you do want to look for a gay person, downtown's a good place to go to find them. 'Cause they, especially after 9 o'clock, they definitely
Yep.
gonna be out there
Oh,
heavy after nine
they
o'clock.
will be out there. They will be out there. And that was
I
the
didn't know
thing
it was a
about
gay
it. Now,
time zone. Is that gay
no,
happy hour,
no.
nigga?
But
No,
see,
no, no. I'm saying I did live in downtown for about 2 years, and I noticed after 9 o'clock, the gays were out there in a lot more. Proportion wise, it like it went up after 9 p.m.
Donnie, put it like this. They started certain gay dudes' tweets have been getting blocked and taken down off of social media
Oh, I
talking
believe
about
that.
the event. Because you know those motherfuckers talk. And you know they said, nah, nigga, tell them what happened, bro. You got clapped. You try to take one of our mans because they were talking about that shit at the club. They were saying, yo, man, he came in reckless. And you know how gay dudes about penis, and they're all going. He tried to take one of their men, and they clapped you.
Are
So
you saying
this,
take one of their men, like like a couple, or take one
I
of their
mean,
men as in you
no, bro.
were hoping for a straight
Listen,
guy?
bro. Come on now, listen, bro. If somebody's coming with money and saying, listen, I got some money, I can do X, Y, and Z for you. You know what I'm saying? Just come play with me or some shit. Whatever the kind of shit that they do to get their come on. Who knows? He probably could have put them on Disney Channel. Who
Well, Joe,
knows what the fuck
you
he
said
was
it
doing?
like this. Just to get a
Different.
clarification. Just to get a clarification. He's saying it just like another rich black guy.
Right.
Like if Trey Songz come to town, he want to take your girl. He know he Trey Songz. He got fame. He got money. There's a chance he could take your girl. I think Joe's saying it in
Right.
that type of context. Correct?
Correct. Yes. And I
So
mean, that's
Joe,
and they talked about that. They say, yo, he be coming to clubs acting mad bougie, where he can like, yo, it's not he come to clubs saying, yo, I'm the guy in the Empire. I got some money. But notice, why do they keep on every time they bring him up? Yes, Jesse Smoke, the guy from Empire that plays on the hit show. Why the fuck y'all gotta keep bringing that shit up? Why can't y'all
Because
just say?
somebody else would know him, but like who?
So
Yeah,
why
you
He's
can't
not
gotta.
a
y'all say?
household name.
yes, they say it's Jussie Smollett, and he's here to smell what the cock is cooking.
Yep.
Yo.
Good job, Cam. Good job, Cam. That's all he was trying to go do. Go get caught. Dude tried it, man. That man be trying it, man. Like, listen, I mean, why he just be realistic? Listen, y'all, I lied. I tried to get, but now you got doggone female politicians saying you black men, if y'all don't get behind this, y'all are homophobic. Hold up. What then? Where the fuck did we start calling gays and black women? Hey, if y'all don't get behind our black men when we get shot, beat, fucked up, y'all are anti-man. Do we get to say that shit when they get on our cause? I mean, not too long ago, y'all didn't mind checking Kevin Hart and saying,
Well,
"Listen,
the
you need to be an ally for the community." Wait, so we got to be allies for y'all, but when shit happens to a heterosexual black man, everybody goes fucking quiet. Well, it's their fault. That's just how those thugs are. So I'm like, well, why are you telling us now? Everybody knows how to call the black man when they need somebody to be the fucking pawn for getting shot, but they don't call us for anything else.
That's true.
Let me check.
Mention the gay male. Like, if you're gay and black, like your representation is even smaller. If that makes any sense. So, what sources do they have if if your own members of your own community, gay or straight,
I'm, I'm gonna say it like this, man. I'm gonna say it like this, and it's like no slight to anybody, but I'm gonna be like, listen, man. Us as black men, we already understand. You say something about the LGBT, your platform can get shut down. But I bet you, if we can get on here and bash black men all day long on this platform, nobody will give a fuck. Probably will get more likes. But I bet you
flightless
the minute,
birds.
yep. But now let us start talking about black women and LGBT. See, we ain't stupid. We know that those communities have power. We know that they have things. So because we know what we know. See, that's the thing about it. Listen, I'm not mad at no brother of an alternate lifestyle for doing what you do. You went with the power. You went with the authority. So, but we understand that black people don't look to the black man for the source of power. Am I lying about this, Roger? Am I lying about this, Donnie? Do people look
Nah,
to us like, hey,
Nah, I mean it's all about certain context, but and yeah, in this particular context, I think you are making a point.
so so when we say that, so when we looking at that, we understand that when Kevin Hart got shut down, every black man understood that wow, they literally shut this man down with his dreams and did not care. And they made a point about that. But now we understand now, let it be something like any type of show. If along so long as I'm gonna show you this. Let me show you this. Let me show you. Let me show you how powerful this is. On Empire, the most logical and sensible person on the show is the gay black man.
yeah,
Not
yeah.
the not the brother who goes to school
A
and has a
reasonable
dog.
dude.
Not the brother who went to school. Not the other black man who can rap and has a family. not Lucius Lyon. The only one who makes sense is the gay black man. I'm like, so you say all the other ones are just fucked up? The dark-skinned black dude who's a DA and also a lawyer, he's the one who gets shot by the gay dude? I'm like, what are the odds? Come on, man. I mean, don't get me wrong. Listen, I like Jamal Lyon on Dog of Empire, but I'm like, damn, dude.
Well, he's pretty tough too, though. They portray him as a tough guy.
Oh, and here's the one who can. Jamal's never been beat up. Jamal beat up Hakeem. Jamal beat up 2 gang members. Jamal done choked out Lucius. I'm like, God damn, this game in your hands. What the fuck was that shit last night? but I'm saying, but it always is it's a show of doggone appearance that the other brother is crazy and the other one is a punk. And Lucius is just a homophobic, decrepit freak. So I'm just like, that's how they set it up on social media. So I'm that hate. Listen, I'm just calling
community. Isn't that the community as a whole?
Hey man, they got the black man looking like we a bunch of bitches, unless we under somebody else's stamp of approval. And that's why when they say, Joe, why you talk the way you talk about other, I said, man, fuck y'all, but y'all talk shit about us, so I be throwing goddamn rocks, snowballs with rocks in them right back at y'all. Fuck y'all being that shit, bro.
Hey, I know this. Hey, speaking of Lee Daniels, you think that Jussie Smollett's gonna be in his upcoming film about the gay superhero?
I'm not. I want nothing to do with it. I don't want him really overly. What do they call him? Super bitch? Nah, I want no parts of that movie.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
So if you there's a clip going around Facebook, Instagram, all that, and it's the dude. He's saying, if you fuck with me, and he wearing high heels and he doing all these flips and pulling out a gun. Have you seen that?
No.
The acrobatic gay dude. Now I get the concept of a gay superhero.
It's a flamboyant gay dude on the internet that made he got some attention. Yeah, he got some attention because he was acting a fool, baby.
Now, mind you, I don't have a problem with a gay superhero. There's a bunch of gay superheroes out there already. However, I have a problem with your superhero name being Super Bitch. It's just a trail of fuckery from there.
And he's black.
Yeah, that's the problem. Because my thing is, I'm not into gay.
We can't have masculine superheroes out there. Like that aspect I definitely understand. Like, why can't we be portrayed as anything other than like I said, like either gay or super thug or just sheer foolishness.
Yeah, see, my thing is I don't pay attention to a lot of stuff when it comes to gay stuff because I'm just not gay. I'm not interested in a gay person's lifestyle. But just seeing that as the title of a movie, and you're going to put a black man as the star of the movie, even though obviously it's a movie I'm not going to go see because I'm just not interested in gays like that. My thing is they have a right to do what they want to do. I have no problem with that. I'm a pro-freedom person. You got your freedom to do what you want. But, man, the light you try to put us under as black men, because my thing is, even though they're gay, they still black men. And you know what I'm saying? How you try? You can't force this certain look on us at all times, at all costs. You know what I'm saying? I'm just not cool with that. You know what I'm saying? They trying to make us look like we just pathetic, and I have a problem with.
I'm gonna say it like this and I'm a heavy comic book nerd. Like before they made up this dumbass shit called blurge and shit. We've already had gay superheroes. We had Wiccan. We had the Hulkling. We had a lot of gay superheroes. I don't think, like, why do you have to be known as a super bitch? Like that. See, I'm saying when I say they know how to make us black men, and you know what's bad about it? They had on the panel. They had that lady on Blackish, the mother, some Chinese girl in the Don Lemon. Of course, Don Lemon will be sucking off this type of buffoonery and shit. And I'm like, man, y'all don't got no problem doing it. Now, if you gay, you gay. Do you? I don't got a problem with that. Listen, I work with plenty of gay men, and I'm like, and one dude was like, I just want you to know I'm gay. What the fuck that got to do with your job? I'm not fucking you. All you got to do is work, nigga.
Dude making my cheeseburger. Hey, so I'm gay. I make your cheeseburger. That wasn't necessarily
if you're gay. I just feel like you're not. That does not mean if you're gay. I want you to understand this on this platform. That does not mean you're not human. That does not mean you don't eat and shit like me. What makes you special to me? Nothing. You just like fucking. You like the same sex. I don't care about that. Only thing I'm saying is like, why does it have to be such a big deal? And nobody gets over sexualized more than the black man. It's like everything they always make sure they make it us about. That all we know how to do is fuck and do in violence. And
Yeah,
like,
even President Obama, like when he was in office, like yeah, white women coming up to him, they have clips like, "Oh, you're so handsome, and I just want to do X, Y, Z." And I'm like, first of all, he is married, and then like for you to just put it out there and just objectify him like that, and I don't know, and that just brings me up to like interracial relationships too. Like, are you interested in me or am I your fantasy? Do you know what I
now,
mean?
right now, the thing about it is this, and I throw this towards all those of the alternate lifestyles. Like I told one of my friends, and he's gay, and I said, do you really want your first predominantly gay movie to be called a bitch? Do you
Yeah,
really want to be called a
stupid bitch.
bitch throughout the whole? Now, mind you, y'all don't like being called the F word, but I know a lot of men don't want to be called. I mean, that's just another word for the F word, bitch. So, but then I noticed that a lot of ratchet black women, I'm gonna call that shit like I saw it in the crowd. It was single mothers and ratchet black women in that crowd, like, oh yes, this is amazing. Like, I'm like, y'all don't understand. They making
Yeah,
these
I
men
saw
look
that.
like punks. Yeah, you saw that. You saw that, Kev, right? There was
Yeah,
not
yeah, I saw that.
one. There was not
Couple women in
one
the
black.
crowd.
Nothing but, and I mean, the white woman was like, what the fuck? They happy about their son being called a bitch? Like, why? Why? Like, why would you be happy about? Oh my God, this is amazing! Like, yes, we're winning. No, we are not winning. Because no
No,
other
that is quite the
minority,
opposite.
no minority would have took that kind of fucking L. Like, hell no, they better to be the niggas than us. Like, come on, man. Like, how the fuck we went from goddamn T'Challa, Killmonger? We went from doggone badass movies. Y'all remember the movies like Blank Man, um, Meteor Man,
Meteor Man.
Blade,
Ma-
The
e-
Last Dragon.
Even the way they portray somebody's phone is going off, but even the way they portray us, and if you look at Arrow, they have Mr. Terrific. Now, Mr. Terrific, they made him gay. He wasn't gay in the comic books, whatever. They made him
I'm
gay,
here.
and when they
Right.
made him gay,
Parking lot.
hold on,
I'm here on the far side.
you don't even know what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So when they made Mr. Terrific in the TV show, Mr. Terrific was a badass. He was one of the smartest minds. I think he was the third smartest mind in all of DC, and he was a badass. He could whip everybody ass. Mr. Terrific is getting beat up, and he was whining the whole time. And did they
Mind
do
you,
that because he was gay? Did they do
and
that
mind
because
you,
he was a black man on TV? It's too much going on here.
and you see,
No,
that's the
no.
thing about it. That's the thing about it. We got no beef. Listen, I don't got no beef with you gay, but I'm like, why is it always got to be the black man first? Why does it always got to be the black man first? Like, shit, man, somebody take the L in the ass before we do, man. Fuck it. I'm gonna say it like that because honestly, let's be for real, man. I'm tired of what we can't be the first one. Like, well, this superhero's a scientist or some shit. But now you gotta imagine. Like, I'm just saying, man. It'd be some shit, man. That we gotta count the signs, man. Like I said, I don't got nothing against gay black men, but I also say, how come they don't be talking about the statistics that down low black men are the highest with HIV? They over sexualize a lot of those men, but they don't talk about how bad it is for y'all right now. They don't talk about how they got HIV up the yayo, that the black community is so bad with STDs, that all of a sudden a lot of these men are not getting checked on. So when they do this stuff and over sexualize us, I want y'all to know, and HIV is not a natural STD. That's a man-made shit.
It's man-made. I definitely agree with that. But also, some of that is our fault. It's how we as a community, gay or straight, look at the medical community. We don't go to the doctor, especially guys. When's the last time you had your checkup? I hope you go regularly. But as a community, we're overweight, you're fat, like and you see the signs and you know the signs, but you're like, it'll go away. And it's not until it's too late that it manifests. When it comes to, there's still a disparity when it comes to employment and benefits. And so all that still plays a part on that. And then on top of that, I don't believe all the statistical data that's out there, because that could be made to go either way. Because there's definitely still more of them than us. But how do we get all the numbers, other than the fact that you infected the community and whatever with your man-made virus?
Well, I mean, like I said, the thing about it is this: in most, and I mean, call me out if I'm wrong. In most, if you're looking at it and music wise, a lot of our men at one time they were being told to be hardcore. Now you notice that they're wearing skirts and dresses and all different kind of shit. Like I like Cam Newton, but I'm like, damn Cam, I will swear that if you gay, just say you gay, nigga.
Because the way he dressed.
Like the way you dress, bro. You ain't no pimp. Like if that's not how my uncle and them be dressing, bro. They be wearing some nice.
I don't know how.
I don't know, bro. Like whatever. He's not talking to no gay fashion designer. Not the shit that he wearing.
Well, you know what? Hold on, real quick. Let me say this real quick.
Gay dudes at least know how to dress.
What my thing is, this is too much stuff about this down low gay black man type of thing. That's really not true. That's almost non-existent. In reality, a lot of stuff is translated because there's a prison population, and a lot of people have sex in prison. And prisons that ain't finna get out, they have sex with other men, and there are men in the black community who go to prison. And
I mean, to be honest with you, sex is more than just black and white. It is or it isn't. It's all about connection, because you are still all humans, and you deserve that. I mean, you desire that particular affection. You're going to get it one way or another. The Romans, like this is all throughout history.
What's that?
The Romans, Japanese did it. There's a lot of culture.
Yeah.
Africans did it. In order for you to be a male, there were some what do you call them, communities in Africa, to where you would have to drink the leader's sperm in order for you to be a male. Like that's just their
new to me.
I guess I'll be exiled out the village, but I'll be a nigga that'll be out the village saying, well, shit, I guess.
Well, you're talking about it like this is our day and age. Hell, even taking it back to Adam and Eve when they had, their kids. Like all of a sudden, like you see, who was it, Cain and Abel? Like you're not getting babies out of that. Like there was, I think they had like 4 kids before they had a girl. So what were you doing? What were you doing?
They were praying daily, sir.
Our particular community, and the reason why is you have such an issue with down low men and the stigma that HIV has, is because we as a community, we don't address it.
Right.
Or to address it, and instead of outcasting these particular individuals, if you were to address it and deal with it hands-on versus like, we're gonna pray about it, talk to God about it, or we're gonna shun you out, then if you didn't have that worry of being shunned out or what have you, then I think it would be better addressed. But because we don't, and like if you don't dress or look or act a certain type of way, you're immediately dismissed.
No, I agree. I agree with you, and I'm gonna tell you this like this, man. But I did a show talking about AIDS and HIV in the black community, and I'm gonna tell you right now, I got no beef with gay men. I got a beef with down low men. They're a problem. I don't give a shit. And then for a lot of you gay men, y'all need to call out y'all little down low gay lovers and shit. Because there be some women out there, some good women out there who don't know. And these brothers be, now understand, listen, I've seen in my time some of these parties. And I told my friend, I said, listen, bro, I know you go to these parties. I know when y'all put that molly up in y'all ass or whatever the fuck y'all do,
What?
Listen, man.
What the fuck?
Listen. They got them date. They got them date. They got. They like to call it the god. They call it the goddamn Cosby shit, man. Now what they do is they get themselves highly aroused, and they go to these parties. They get them. Listen, he told me. He showed me the film, and I'm like, damn, what y'all got going on over there? Man,
Will, is
don't
that
come
what's
out there.
going on in the community?
I don't know.
No.
I'm
So they have
conservative,
these
so
parties. Oh no. Okay, if you don't know, there's Facebook groups where they have the swinging Facebook, and everybody wants to get homosexual. They all want to go to rent a hotel room, and they all want to have fun. Now the thing about it is, it only takes one person to be a carrier, one.
oh,
And
oh yeah.
if nobody is properly protecting themselves, then that means you only need one. One can make 4 or 7 people sick. And then after that, let's say they don't tell their mate back at home, wait, I'm gay, or I'm down low, or I'm messing around. I mean, shit. Let's be for real. Now, you go home, you having sex with your woman or your girlfriend, but you already know black people nowadays they don't even get fucking married, so you just girlfriend and boyfriend, and y'all break up. She go to another dude. So guess what? She passed on the shit, not knowing. So the thing about it, and that's the thing about it we got going on, and this is something that's really real. That's why I be trying to say, like, listen, the beef that I have with it, like I said, a lot of this shit is on a high tier level. And the thing about it is, for no, the black community is not for the. You can't. I'm not going to raise and protect the LGBT community because they have the financial backing, they have the manpower or whatever kind of power they got. Then our black women protect and praise them more than the black man. This is not something that we guess. This is a refutable fact. We've seen the post. I'd rather have a gay son than a thug. Wait, okay, your son can be a thug and still be a contributing member of society. I've
Hell,
seen
you can
some
be a
brothers.
gay thug.
Hell, shit. Bro, there's a lot of them. Shit. And I try to tell people, I said, listen, man, I know a lot of brothers, they the most hardcore thuggish brothers, but these brothers are what was the shit? Moonlight? Y'all remember the movie Moonlight? He was a thug and he was gay. So I'm like, that shit now going. It used to be those men began turned out more.
That
I'm like, y'all.
Moonlight was a terrible movie, and I don't know why that movie, because that movie didn't even have a real closing in it. He was still confused at the end. He just
Yeah, he didn't even know what the fuck he was doing.
but we got usually we get off track, but we done got super off track. So all in all, in terms of the Jussie Smollett movie, do you think that this is being used as a come up for the
Yep.
LGBTQIA community? I don't. It's so many damn letters to it now.
Shit, man.
Alphabet.
Yeah, like I'm. It's growing another letter every day. I don't even know what half of the motherfuckers is no more. Um, but do you think this is being used as a come up for that community in terms of this attack? Because really, he's a black man, so I feel like this should be awareness for black people first, and then go down the line of the LGBTQIA. Yeah, I think that's right.
HIQPTR.
How the hell y'all got H in there now? What the hell?
he's
Fuck y'all
being
got H.
facetious.
I'm about to say Z. Next thing gonna be Z and JQ and Omega. The fuck, like.
To answer your question, I think it was all a ruse to begin with. Like, I think it was more or less a publicity stuff because, like you said, nothing really adds up in this particular case. Giving him the benefit of the doubt and saying, this did happen to me in the order that I said it did, then it's a wake up call for regardless of your race or your gender, especially your race, because if this stuff does happen to like a lot of black men, and especially the more effeminate black men out there that may not have a voice, then that is big for them. But in general, I just think it was kind of a publicity stunt. Like I don't really believe anything that comes from the tabloids. So that's just me.
Raj, Kev,
Hmm?
Raj, Kev, you there? Anybody, everybody. All right. Well, shit.
I'm here.
Okay.
I'm
So,
here.
what do you think on it?
I'm gonna tell you right now, it's a publicity stunt. It's a lie. It's a disgusting fib. I will no longer care to watch Empire because he's saying that uh, people that are on my political standpoint that we are racist. How the fuck am me? I'm a black man and I'm racist, and I actually watch your damn show.
Are you
So
saying
that
because you're a Trump supporter?
well, when I voted for Trump, and that makes me, mind you, he has more tweets. This is the thing that fucks him up. You're saying that somebody with a MAGA hat. I'm
Hey,
gonna tell you right now. I'm gonna tell you right now. Ain't nobody with no fucking goddamn MAGA hat. If y'all know what a MAGA hat look like, they don't got no kind of protection from the code at all. So ain't nobody gonna ever wear that dumbass. You're not walking around with no MAGA hat in no fucking Chicago. No, you're not. If that's the case, then why the fuck they ain't going after Kanye yet? That don't make no damn sense. You
because
you
Kanye,
you, somehow they didn't get Kanye, but they got Jesse. That's how illogical some of these Negroes are. And I mean, even the gay dudes are calling him out like, come on, bro, stop lying, bro. You know damn well. But first of all, let's be for real. The LGBT got power and money. If they've been done wanting to show this shit as a hate crime, they just like they could have showed a nigga at GameStop. You see how quickly they got footage on that shit, and he's already on the news and shit talking. So
The
how the
dude
fuck
who
they
was
could
over there overly aggressive. The dude who I am a man.
motherfucker, motherfucker. So you telling me a black man with money can't can't get his footage, but they can get the that ugly looking thing. They can get that motherfucker's goddamn footage, and that's GameStop. So how the fuck you can't get street footage? That's why I was like, yo, bro, you got holes in your goddamn story. You just need to be real and just call the shit for what it is. That's why won't you give me your phone? Why won't you show your tweets and your goddamn Snapchat? Why? Because you're full of shit, Jesse. You stink. Stink of man meat. And that's the problem with this motherfucker. Now I'm gonna say, now I noticed, guess who's jumping on this? Kamala Harris. Ooh, what do you know? All of a sudden, Kamala Harris, enemy of the black man and black people all alike, she's jumping on and saying, hey, you black people, you need to talk. Bitch, you not even black. How the fuck you gonna tell us what we need to fight for? Mind you, she the one who fucked us over with Fruitville Station. We ain't gonna talk about that shit.
Oh,
But yet
she did what?
he reached deep in the pole right there.
Wait, what did she do?
She's Fruitville Station. Go, you run it. You can tell them. You might as well, so everybody's aware.
Okay, so if y'all don't know about Fruitville Station, there's the incident where some black men, and I forgot the brother's name, but if y'all can go look up
I think Michael B. Jordan did the
Michael B.
movie.
Jordan played the movie. It's on Netflix.
Is it on
And
Netflix? Okay.
yeah, it's on Netflix. It's about a black man, and a few of them they got wrongfully arrested, even though that there were bystanders, white, Hispanic, all of them were saying these black men did not do nothing. You are arresting them for no reason. These officers arrested them when they already had the man face down on the concrete, and they had the knee in the back. The officer pulled out his gun, put it in the black man's back, and shot him. That same now, when they had the right to prosecute him, Kamala Harris, y'all fucking goddamn female Jesus, this bitch allowed that cop to walk, even though that there was amazing, irrefutable evidence that this officer killed him in cold blood and mistreated all those black men and beat them. They still, all of them walked. Kamala Harris is the same black woman that literally also made her uprise, fucking and sucking a black man that was already married and got the seat that she got now. That she said, black women, I'm showing you how I rose to power. Why? By sucking dick. The same bitch that also voted against body cams on cops in California, even though there was a rise in police brutality on black men, but she voted to have body cams removed off of cops. that were already up for conviction. This is why I be saying, do not trust this evil satanic bitch. Because this woman is using this damn false narrative to spin off on black men that we need to get behind her. Fuck you, you crazy bitch. And Jesse, well, I would say go ride a dick, but I'm pretty sure you're gonna be back on the street looking for some more man meat. But like gay dudes already called this nigga out, like you lying, bro. But ain't no way this nigga did this shit, bro. Y'all, we gotta wake up, man. Stop listening to these niggas, man. Stop. I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna go ahead and stop, Donnie. Go ahead, bro.
All right.
Talk about Kamala Harris. Oh, we ran off one of them.
At this point, we're gonna go ahead and call the show a wrap. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do a final thoughts on the subject. Everybody, we're gonna run down the line. I don't know if Roger's listening, what's going on, but so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give the mic to Will, and you can give your final thoughts on the scenario and the situation.
I guess 2 plus 2 didn't make sense in that Jesse case, and I pretty much agree with most of the stuff that was said here today. Appreciate the invite.
Oh yeah, no problem. We'll do plenty of shows, so whenever you're around, you can feel free to hop on. Go ahead, Mr. BMT.
Hey guys, if you want some content on stuff like this, of course you go ahead and subscribe to my homeboy Donnie. You ain't shit for watching, but also if you want to come on over, come to Brothers Amongst Men. I usually do a live every day. Also, you can join BMP Network. That's where we do a lot of our shows and upload them from different various networks, such as the Brothers on the Panel. If you want to join on our stream, just let us know. Hit us up in the comments, or hit up one of these brothers, and we'll put you on the show.
All right, and Mr. Radio Raheem, Roger.
My final thoughts is, if you're gonna be gay, and that's you. Do what you want to do. That's your business. Your right. When it comes to people like Terry Crews, man, I don't know what to make of you because I don't get why you would let another man rub all on your dick. And if you're not gay, if you're a straight man, you letting another man rub all on your dick. And I'm just trying to keep it real. It's hard for me to make sense of that situation as a straight man. And
he was caught off guard.
When it comes to the Cynthia G situation, she came to an expected outcome. Anybody who shows how much she hates black men, of course she ends up getting pregnant by a black man that's in a compromised position. It was just bound to happen. So for any other woman listening to this, if you're gonna be that dumb, that's the road you're headed down. Plain and simple. Even when there's so many sisters that have kids and so many men say they want a sister that don't have kids, they didn't pick her either. So be careful out there.
Hey, he went spit from the surviving scrolls or the survival scrolls. Yeah. Basically, I'm gonna leave it out on the final thought. I think a lot of times when we have these conversations, the conversations that aren't had, so they come off as funny or anything else. But these are conversations we need to have in our community every day. Specifically, shout out to Cynthia G for fucking up. You made it a whole lot easier for for the community to understand where you coming
you
from.
Put down a black queen. Wow.
Yeah. Cynthia G, you done super fucked up. You shouldn't speak on black men no more. Talking about we defeat and you out here want to pick the bottom of the barrel.
Stop it. Stop it.
Terry Crews, stop trying to speak for every black man.
He was raped. Stop it.
Nah, bruh.
It's him too. Gosh, let him live.
Him too. But as usual, if you any point during the show you felt like somebody said something and they wasn't shit for something they said, well, you ain't shit for watching. Y'all have a beautiful day.